stand with erect posture, rub sand from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant
Ntv Kusaawa Emu mbalamusiza nnyo banafe nze Hatima Nalugwa Sekaya kulamu nange Farida Nakaziwe ataliwo yagenzeke Nairobi okubaako byasoma olwaleero 22 omwezi gwa Kasambula oba July era gino gyemitwe gy'emikulu gye tuyina mu mawulire gaffe olwaleero. Entiisa emitiana abatuuze bagudde ku mutwe gw'omwana enfaye etankanibwa. Obubbi emuyenga ekkolero ly'Abachina libbiddwa obukadde 8 amasasi ganyoose abakumi 3 bakwatiddwa. Ettemu ekinnawattaka omuvubuka agambibwa okutta muganzi we poliisi emukutte entabwe evudde ku nsimbi. Ne mu byemizannyo empaka za Sekafa URA yetegekera za quarter final olunaku lw'enkya. Nyongedde okwaniriza nate abatuuze ku kyalo Pida ekisangibwa ku nkengezi z'ekibuga Mityana bakeredde mu ntiisa enkya ya leero oluvannyuma lw'okulaba embwa nga zikalakala n'omutwe gw'omwana ku kkubo. Omwana ono ateeberezebwa okuba wakati w'emyezi 6 n'omwaka ogumu. Tekinnaba kumanyika obanga yasaddaakiddwa busaddaakibwa engeri ekiwudduwuddu kye gye kikyabuze obanga waliwo eyamuzaala n'amufaako olwo n'asalawo okumuziika mu kasooli ali okumpi n'ekkubo embwa gye zijje omutwe gwe. Bibino mu bujjuvu.
Ekiri mu kaveera kano gwe mutwe gw'omwana ogusangiddwa abatuuze ng'embwa zigukulubeesa. Embeera eneereseewo okutya mu batuuze era bwe batyo n'okubira poliisi egyeyambeko mu kunoonyereza kuno. Abamu ku batuuze bagamba nti kyandiba nga waliwo omukazi eyazaala omwana n'amufaako n'asalawo okumuziika ng'ebitundu ebimu embwa zabadde zimaze okubirya so nga ate waliwo abagamba nti yandiba nga omwana ono yasaddaakibwa obusaddaakibwa.
Abatuuze kale bakyatankana ku bakazi ababadde n'embuto bakyanoonya balabe ani ga bagenda kwekolamu omulimu balabe nti bafuna omukazi abadde n'olubuto atalabika kuba na mwana kuba kisoboka okuba nga abadde yavudde wala.
Poliisi n'abatuuze beeyiye mu kasooli ono okugezaako okunoonya ebitundu ebirala naye tewali kavuddeyo. Yo poliisi egamba nti bw'oba yandibadde eriko ky'esobola okukola ng'ekozesa embwa zaayo okusobola okunoonyereza naye abantu babadde bamaze okulinyirira ekifo kino.
Ne tufuna akanya akatono ke baziseeko omutwe gwokka kirabika baziseeko omutwe gwokka awo kati tukyanoonyereza ku nsonga zino.
Kyokka bagamba nti okunoonyereza kukyagenda mu maaso. Poliisi bwetyo ekutte omutwe gwo n'egenda nagwo mu ggwanika Mityana nga bwegenda mu maaso n'okunoonya ekiwuduudu.
Ebyo bibadde Mityana. Bwe tukomawo wano poliisi eriko abasajja 3 abakuumye okuva mu kitongole ky'obwannannyini ekimu beekutte ng'ebalumiriza okuba nga be bayingiridde kampuni y'Abachina esuubulako n'okutunda ennuuni ng'eneesangibwa mu Nnyonyo era bwe batyo ne bakulita n'obukadde wa siringi za Uganda 8 saako ensimbi engwira nnyingi ddala. Wabaddewo okuwanyisiganya amasasi wakati wa poliisi n'abasajja bano nga waliwo n'abalumiziddwa okuli abasirikale ba poliisi n'omubbi omu nga kati bali mu ddwaliro e Mulago. Dean Lubowa Sava yalina ebisingawo.
Poliisi egamba nti abasajja ababiri nga bakuumi ba kampuni ey'obwannannyini eyitibwa Hash Security nga beegassi wamu n'abazigu abalala balumbye kampuni ya Jure International esangibwa e Munyonyo ku ssaawa nga 3 ez'ekiro ne basiba Abachina bano ku miguwa n'empingu era okukakana ng'ensimbi ezisoba mu bukadde 8 n'ez'ebweru nga bakuuliise nazo.
Okay. Another sleep da. Put the look Thai lady.
Okay.
Hey.
You are only 2 people who are tied.
3 people, 4 people, all
4
Thai.
people were tied.
Yeah. This is brother. Same lady, Thai lady. Yeah.
Wei Mujongo mu China akulira kampuni ya Jury International annyonnyola engeri abakuumi gye babeefuuliddemu ne babatuusaako ebisago nga bababanja ssente.
After me call the police say here after me call the police open the gun. Open the gun. Mini gun. Mini. Yeah, after the shifu one go to this way.
Ngenza kuyingira wano nasanga abakubyewo amasasi waliwo ebisosogolo by'amasasi bayizizza wali ebweru wa gate we bayise nisanga ababosi baffe babatuusizzaako ebisago babasazeesaze.
Zionga agamba nti ye kyamutaasiza yabadde yeebase era olwawulidde okulaajana eri banne kwe kuyita mangu poliisi netuukirawo mu bwangu ne bataasaako abazigu bano ababadde babafuukidde ekyambika. Tutegezeddwa nti poliisi bwe yatuuse mu kifo kino wabaddewo okuwaanyisiganya amasasi era abasirikale n'omubbi omu baalumiziddwa nga kati bali mu kujjanjabibwa. Wabula akulira poliisi mu bukiikakkono bwa Kampala Jacob Opoloti agambye nti balina okunoonyereza ku kampuni zino ez'obwannannyini kubanga zeefuddemu mu kunyagulula abantu be zirina okukuuma.
Just like the other time at Ngobe, the similar guns were recovered. Pump action also, these were the guns they were using during the robbery, and they were resisting and using them for shooting at the police. We want people to enjoy total peace, total security. This business of eroding people their wealth through thuggery must stop.
Abamu ku bakozi bano abafunye ebisago olumaze okufuna obujjanjabi ne batandikirawo okukola emirimu nga bulijjo wadde nga abamu balabiddwako nga balumizibwa. Mu bintu poliisi bye yasobodde okununulako emmundu 2, ensimbi emitwalo 8 eza siringi n'ez'ebweru omuli $, saako n'eza China. Poliisi ezeeyemulugunya ku bitongole by'obwannannyini olw'okwenyigira mu bubbi wabula era kimanyikiddwa nti wadde nga abasirikale bano ab'obwannannyini baweebwa obuvunaanyizibwa bunene okukuuma bizinensi z'abantu naye ng'engeri gye basasulwamu si nnungi. Dini Lubowa Sava, Ntv Kusaawa Emu.
Poliisi eriko omuvubuka ayitibwa Hilary Okech gwekutte agiyambeko mu kubuuliriza ku bikwatagana ne muganzi we Doreen Adikini eyasangiddwa ng'afudde akawungezi k'eggulo oluvannyuma lw'okufuna obutakkaanya wakati w'ababiri. Kigambibwa nti Okech ne Doreen Adikini abadde omuyizi mu ttendekero lya Mobs e Nakawa balwanaganye ku ssaawa nga 9 ez'olweggulo lwa jjo era Okech oluvannyuma n'asibawo n'afuluma nga muganda w'omugenzi eyazze ng'amunoonya ku ssaawa nga 4 ez'ekiro ye Sanze ngafudde.
Guno gwe muzigo Hilary Okech ne Doreen Adikini mwabadde basula ogusangibwa kinawataka okulina n'embuya. Abagalana bano bamaze ebbanga bali bombi naye nga batuuze bagamba nti babadde bayombagana buli kiseera. N'olunaku lw'eggulo era bwe bati batandise okwema kusanga mu endezo lw'eggulo ng'entabwe eva ku nsimbi.
Omuwala ng'agamba nti no sente zange bazibye mu nyumba ng'agamba omuvubuka nga bamuyita Hilary wabbye sente zange wamenye keesi yange badde ngenda kusasula school fees. Hilary n'agamba nze sabba sente zo naye kati awo omuwala abadde agezako nga balwana omuwala agezako okufuluma Hilary n'amuzayo mu nyumba.
Kigambibwa nti Okech nga kati akumira ku poliisi ya Jinja Road oluvannyuma lw'okwewaayo enkya ya leero yaggaddewo n'asulawo ennyumba ku ssaawa 11 ez'olweggulo n'atambula mbwe era n'akoma ku 12 n'aggulawo n'ayingira kyokka tebandaddewo n'asibawo era n'addayo. Abamuli bano bagamba nti by'okufa kwa Doreen babitegedde ku ssaawa nga 4 ez'ekiro.
Sisita we yakomyewo ssaawa 4 ez'ekiro n'akookona nga tewali aggulawo n'akuba ku simu ye ng'ekaabira omwo mu nju nga tewali agikwata ng'alina spare key n'agulawo n'ayingira mu nju. We yayingidde mu nju n'agezaako omushekinga ng'atayogera ate nga takyuka n'afuluma ng'akuba alamu n'akaaba n'agamba mujje mu nnyambe sisita wange afudde muyita taddamu.
Omukyalo ono era annyonnyola engeri gye bamusanzeemu.
Yabadde munika yokka nga temuli lugoye naye ng'alinaamu kano akantu muno akabraka ng'omuntu gwe baatuze tasangiddwako nti oba bamukoze batya ng'amwebasiza na bulungi amukyusizza omutwe agutadde era alinga omuntu eyeebase.
Poliisi ekakasizza nti bano babadde n'obutakkaanya.
Wabaddewo ebizibu mu mukwano omwami Okech Hilary gwabaddemu ne muganzi we Adikini tegeeteeko eri Adikini Doreen.
abamuliraano bagamba nti gunasuga mulundi ogusoose bano okusowagana.
Yayagala mufumita akaso, oyo mwana n'afulumya akaso n'akawa neiba we muli, oyo mwala yasula ng'etaala esuzeeko, ogwazeeko n'amuwa obutwa n'alemwa.
Doreen ne muganzi wo Okech abantu ku mizigo gino bagamba nti babadde tebanyega muntu nga n'olwekyo nabo baali tebagala kuyingira bitabakwatako.
Naye ngeri oyo muwala tabuuza tanyumya naffe tosobola tegeera embeera ze.
Ye Hilary akyakunyizibwa poliisi ku nsonga zino.
Ntv Kusaawa Emu. Poliisi olwaleero ezinzeeko amaka g'omubalirizi w'ebitabo mu ofiisi ya Ssaabaminisita wa Uganda abadde agambibwa nti yabula n'ebiwandiiko bya gavumenti. Okufuuza amaka g'omusajja ono Geoffrey Kazinda kutandise ku makya okutuukira ddala olw'eggulo. Oluvannyuma poliisi egenze ne Kazinda ayongera okuginnyonnyola lwaki yasalawo okubula okuva mu ofiisi y'eno nga tawaddeewo biwandiiko. Ebisingawo ku ggulire lino tujja kubikutuusaako mu mawulire gaffe agaddako. Poliisi eggulu eriko omwana ateeberezebwa okuba nga yalwala ekirwadde ky'okunyenya omutwe kiyite nodding disease gweronze ku ofiisi y'omubaka wa gavumenti mu kibuga ggulu. Abatuuze bakedde kusamaalirira olw'omwana ono abadde ali awo yekka nga talina kyayogera. Kiteeberezebwa nti omwana ono bakadde be bandibanga be bamusudde ku ofiisi zino mu ngeri ey'okwenyiwa olw'embeera gy'alimu. Abazadde bangi mu bitundu bino basobeddwa olw'ekirwadde kino ekikyayongera okutigomya abantu b'omu mambuka g'eggwanga omuli abato n'abakulu era ng'abantu abali eyo mu 300 be bakafa. Omwana ono abaddeko ebiwundu n'enkwagulo ku mubiri ng'abaana ababa bakwatiddwa ekirwadde kino bwe baba olw'ebigo bye bagwa buli kaseera. Omwana ono atwaliddwa ku poliisi eggulu gy'aweereddwa ebyokulya n'oluvannyuma n'atwalibwa mu ddwaliro eggulu. Ebadde kitundu kyaffe ekisooka mu Ntv Kusaawa Emu. Tovaawo nkomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri. Ensolo tezikoze
This is NTV. This is NTV.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions. Bwindi impenetrable
The impala is a medium-sized graceful antelope found in southern Africa to the northern limits of East Africa. In Uganda, they can only be found in Lake Mburo National Park. With its reddish-brown body, the impala is very similar to the kobe, but are differentiated by the black strip which runs along the middle of the lower back to the tail. Their slender lioness-shaped horns are found only in males. The impala weighs up to 80 kilograms with a shoulder height of 75 to 95 centimeters or 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Unlike other antelopes, impalas have large brush-like tufts of long coarse black hair that cover a scent gland located just above the heel on each hind leg. Its remarkable lips are the most well-known feature of the impala's movement. Impalas inhabit grassland and woodland edges, usually very close by water. They feed on young shoots during the wet season and herbs and shrubs during the dry season and drink daily. The male impala are very territorial animals and fiercely guard their territory from challenging males through horn duels. They stand with erect posture, rub scent from face glands and make dung heaps to mark their territory. The females form herds of up to 50 or more and wander in and out of the male territories. If they start to leave the territory, the male tries to herd them back into the center. Bachelor males are allowed to remain in the male territories by the dominant male only if they ignore the females. But occasionally you will catch sight of one lone male impala which keeps close to the female herd and waits for an opportunity when the dominant male is preoccupied to mate with any of the females. The female impala reaches sexual
Ntv Kusaawa Emu n'esiimye okuba ng'okyali naffe. Abakulu mu gavumenti omuli abavunaanyizibwa ku bitonde by'omu nsiko ab'ebyobugagga obw'ensibo ssaako n'ab'obutonde bw'ensi bategezezza ng'ekyokusima amafuta mu kkuumiro ly'ebisolo erya Action Falls bwe kitagenda kukosa bisolo bibeerayo. Abakulu bano balambuzza bannamawulire ensolo ezaali zirowoozebwa nti za kudduka. Abakulu bano balambuza bannamawulire ensolo ezirowoozebwa nti zadduka dda ne kisangibwa nga zikyaliyo zitemya bukofu. Jingo Francis yabadde nabo.
Okusimibwa kw'amafuta mu bifo awakuumibwa ebisolo ensangi zino kwogeza abantu abamu ebikankana nti amafuta agasimibwayo ga bulabe eri ebisolo. Ebyobulambuzi mu Uganda kyekimu ku bisinga okuyingiza ssente era omwaka gw'ebyensimbi 2011 eggwanga lyafuna obukadde bwa $8. Twatandise olugendo lwaffe okuva mu kibuga Masindi ne tuyingira ekkuumiro ly'ebisolo Action Falls erisinga obunene mu ggwanga.
I saw a lion doing jiggy. Jiggy is mating. Mating. There's a female and a male. And the lady started making noise.
I love it. I mean, Uganda is a beautiful place and the people are especially nice. We've been visiting schools.
Twatuuse ku bimu ku bifo ebisimibwamu amafuta nga biddukanyizibwa kampuni ya Total ne tusanga ng'ebisolo ebyali birowoozebwa nti byadduka nga byegiriisa bulungi era ababirabirira bagamba nti okusima amafuta tekubikanga.
Kati nga bwe mulaba entulege zino zigalamidde mu busubi ziwumuddeko nga zirinaanye ekkolero ly'okunoonyereza amafuta nga bwe mulaba kati. Era bannayuganda bangi bavuddeyo nga bennyamivu nga beeraliikirira nga bagamba kale ebisolo bino amafuta gagenda bitawaanya.
Tetwakomyawo wabula era twasanze n'enjovu ezirowoozebwa nti zadduka.
Enjovu zitambula wano era mirundi mingi nnyo tuzze wano ne tuziraba.
Kino kye kimu ku bifo ebiyitibwa Jobe 1 era kiri mu kkuumiro lya bisolo bino ewasooka okuzuulibwa amafuta era kigambibwa nti ekikyasinze okuba amafuta agasinga obungi.
The operator then, who was Heritage, described it as the largest discovery south of the Sahara onshore in recent years.
We felt we should have certain designs which cannot easily be detected by the tourists who are coming to view wildlife.
Bino byonna bagamba nti bigendereddwamu kuziyiza bulabe obuyinza okukosa ebisolo wamu n'obutonde bw'ensi.
So in terms of environment management, this is the level of consideration, and as really witnesses, this is to illustrate the effort that has been made so far. No fears, no need to worry.
Tewali kubuusabuusa nti mu kusima amafuta era ebyo ebiggyibwayo mu ttaka birina kye bikosa ku bulamu bw'omuntu wamu n'ebisolo. Wabula gavumenti egamba nti bino birina okuŋŋaanyizibwa ne biggyibwa mu bifo ebyo ewakuumibwa ebisolo. Jingo Francis, Ntv Kusaawa Emu.
Webale nnyo Jingo Francis. Oluguudo lwa Ring Road olusangibwa mu kitundu ky'Ettegwana mu kibuga Gulu lugaddwa abatuuze olwaleero nga bagamba nti embeera gye lulimu eyitiridde okuba embi ennyo nga terukyetaagisa na kuyita mu kidduka. Bano basimbye emiti mu kkubo lino okulaga obutali bumativu bwabwe era ne bagamba nti bagenda kukeera ku makya bagumbe mu kkubo lino okutuusa nga bekikwatako baliko kye bakoze.
Abatuuze b'Ettegwana mu tawuni y'Eggulu basudde ebiti mu luguudo lwa Ring Road oluli mu mbeera embi nga bawakanya abakulembeze baabwe obutabafaako. Oluguudo luno kati lwakamala ennaku 3 nga tebakkiriza kidduka kyonna kulukozesa era emmotoka bwe zituukawo nga ziddayo gye ziva. Guno omulundi gwakubiri ng'abatuuze beekalakaasa ku kkubo lino. Waliwo abakyala abavuddeyo ne bategeeza nti ekkubo lino we lyali likolebwa mu kusooka baasala ku bibanja byabwe naye tebaabasasula. Bano kati baasazeewo kutundira bintu mu kkubo.
Yo wakani manaka yang kipuru wachiene mapaka magemini wa kipuru guru wakani nono bepeke yubu.
Kansala w'ekitundu kino Geoffrey Odinga Komakech agambye nti ssente z'oluguudo luno zaayisibwa omwaka oguwedde naye waabyogerako tewali afaayo.
Bawaddeyo contract ya $809 million. Paka saawa zino tebanakola ku luguudo eno luguudo kate embeera yayo abantu bonna ne basalawo okugalawo oluguudo.
Tugezezzaako okufuna meeya w'ekibuga kino George Lebanja naye tutegeezeddwako nti tali mu ggwanga. Wabula abatuuze basazeewo obutava ku luguudo luno okutuusa nga lukoleddwako.
Ebyo bibadde Gulu. Abatuuze mu katawuni k'ekitongo akasangibwa mu disitulikiti y'Emityana bakeeredde mu kunyolwa olwaleero oluvannyuma lw'ababbi okubalumba ne babaako amaduuka 10 ge banyazeemu ebintu. Bano bagamba nti ebyokwerinda mu kitundu kino biraga ennyo nga ne poliisi tebayambye nnyo okutereeza kitundu kyabwe kino.
Abasuubuzi b'omu katawuni k'ekitoogo Emityana be bakeeredde mu kwemulugunya oluvannyuma lw'okusanga amaduuka gaabwe nga gamenyeddwa.
Tugenda kwekolamu omulimu abantu tebajjanga asula mu maduuka oli alina obukadde bubiri obwasende bumusule ebweru.
Amaduuka agawera ddala 10 ge gamenyeddwa mu kiro era n'ebintu ebibalibwa mu nsimbi nnyingi ne bibbibwa. Abamu ku basuubuzi bavuddeyo ne bategeeza nga bwe guli omulundi ogwokusatu ekikolwa kino okubaawo.
Nze bakazi b'emirundi esatu liyo ade bazijja nga bamenye basumula busumuluzi kufulu nga baba airtime nga mawasimba gandekera naye olwaleero bwe baze bafute airtime wa mitwalo 3 ne batwala n'amasimu gonna tebandekedde ate nga amasimu kwenyimiridde.
Abasuubuzi abalala okubibwa kuno bakutadde ku byokwerinda ebinafu mu kitundu ate ne bategeeza nga abapoliisi abaliwo batakola kimala.
Tulina abakuumi naye abakuumi batusobedde kuba kati wano bakabba emirundi egisukka mu 10. Kati tetumanyi kigenda mu maaso. Tubadde tusaba obuyambi oba kutukyusiza mu poliisi oba kutukola ki oba kutwongera abasirikale. Abakyala abasirikale be baleeta bakazi battu beebaka bwe basi tebasobola.
Ntv Kusaawa Emu tugenda kuddamu tuwumulemu katono tovaawo nkomawo n'agava mu nsiike y'ebyemizannyo.
This is NTV.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions: Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park, Mahinga Gorilla National Park in Uganda, Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, and Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The gorilla is the largest of all living primates and has a robust build with long muscular arms, a massive chest, and broad hands and feet. It has longer and darker hair than other species, allowing it to live and travel at high altitudes where temperature...
Ntv Kusaawa Emu n'amawulire agava mu nsiike y'ebyemizannyo. Olunaku olwaleero lubadde lwakuwummula mu mpaka za Sekafa Kagame Cup eziyindira mu Dar es Salaam ekye Tanzania. Empaka zino zaakuddamu olunaku olw'enkya nga URA ey'okusooka mu nsiike mu mpaka za quarter final. Oluvannyuma bannyinimu abayanga baakuttunkana mafunzo okuva e Zanzibar ku ssaawa 10. Sam Mpoza yalina ebisingawo.
Timu ya Uganda Revenue Authority yakudda mu nsiike mu mpaka za Sekafa olunaku lw'enkya mu luzannya olusooka olukulembera olw'akamalirizo. Bannayuganda bano bajja kuba battunkane APR eya Rwanda eyakwata ekifo ekyokusatu mu kibinja C.
Olunaku olwa bbalaza tiimu ya URA yajja okutandikira mu nsiike ku bbalaza bwenne beeyambalagana ne APR.
URA yakulembera ekibinja kyayo oluvannyuma lw'okuwangula Simba eya Tanzania, Vita eya Congo ne Potse eya Djibouti. Omutindo guno ttiimu gwe yayolesa mu mpaka zino guwaliriza omuwandiisi wa Sekafa Nicholas Musonyi okugamba nti eyinza okutwala ekikopo ky'omwaka guno.
I am thinking URA is a good team so far. I think they are organized, they are ready, and they are prepared for this competition.
Sam Mpoza, NTV.
Webale nnyo Sam Mpoza. Omuzannyi Kizito Baba agusambira e Vietnam ayitiddwa okwegatta ku ttiimu ya Uganda eyabali wansi w'emyaka 20 Hippos okugiyamba mu mpaka z'okusunsulamu abaneetaba mu z'ekikopo kya Africa. Ttiimu ya Uganda eno mu kiseera kino eri mu kutendekebwa e Kavumba nga yeetegekera okuttunka ne Black Satellites eya Ghana ku Lwomukaaga olujja.
Lwomukaaga tusuubira okuwangula omupiira gwa Ghana olw'ensonga abasambi bonna balamu bulungi, tutraininga bulungi, batulabiridde bulungi nga FUFA, so tewaliwo ayina injali yonna, tewaliwo ayina buzibu bwonna, so tusuubira okusamba bulungi. Tusuubira abasambi abalala twegattako nga Kizito Baba okuva e Vietnam. Ghana be ba champions ba Africa kituufu, naye nga naffe twagala kukola mawulire nga abasambi ba Uganda oba nga abasambi ba 20. Twetaaga okukola mawulire, twetaaga okubeera nga abasajja, twetaaga okugenda ku pro, twetaaga okubeera obulungi nga bwe bali. So nsuubira tujja kukola buli kimu ekisoboka tusobole okuwangula omupiira.
Obadde mulabi mulungi era NTV Kusaawa Emu bwetyo bwegenze. Tuyina amawulire amalala ku ssaawa 3 ng'enegenda kubeera weekend edition. Beerawo nago ogote buliro. Ndi Hatima Nalugwa Sekaya tusinkana olundi musule bulungi mweraba.
This is NTV. This is NTV.
me and she would trampoos a lot. Several mornings she my back, she stand true to that. Real type of loving, thank you for that. Yo, run barefoot without no shoes and socks. Cause she keep herself clean, man, I got catch no rush. And she love me for real, man, I feel have no cash. And any little thing and from a splish, she splash. Yo, all this blinging is like you forgot. Use cheddar as the bait, then you recruit the rat. So we listen couple speech of Martin Luther chat. Dennis Brown, Bob Marley and some super cats. Yo, it seem like she live upside the Duke shop. Cause she don't have a scratch, it's only beauty spot. When one duty start is when one duty stop. 1 9 to 5, 1 5 to 12 o'clock. You see me?
NTV, turning on your world.
Tuwaye kwaniriza nnyo n'okusinga bwe gwali gubadde. Now do not sit and think your week was wacky, otherwise this could even be more wacky than what you think. I tell you, kwaniriza nnyo ebigambo bitambula bulungi awamu bibi naye mu mbeera yonna tujja genda mu maaso. Now ku bench ndeeta abantu bangi bannabyabufuzi, abasawo b'ekinnansi, abasumba, ba bishop, buli muntu mu Uganda ajja kufuna omukisa ogujja ku bench eno. Olwaleero ninawo omusajja Nakatemba John Mbuse, oluusi bamuyita Kapere. Kapere ono omusajja yali yeekolera mirimu gye gya mpolampola ku Wabbakuli eyo e Kampala. Ne wabaawo omusajja omu n'amugamba nti atuulidde ssente. Yamubuuza kiki yali ategeeza, omuntu n'amunnyonnyola nti endabikayo eyinza okufuula omuntu ow'ekitalo oba ow'akabi nga bagamba ennaku zino mu Uganda. Bw'atyo yagenda n'abaako ekibiina ekimu ekya Katemba kye yeegattako, era okuva olwo n'okutuusa olwaleero taddanga mabega. Musajja asanyusa bannayuganda mu ngeri zonna. Nsanyusa okulaba John Mbuse. Lyerinnya lye eryaddala simanyi.
Linnya bampita Mbuse. Mbuse Yokana oba Mbuse John. Buliza mu Luganda liba Yokana, buliza mu Luzungu liba John.
Mbuse oli musajja Muganda?
Ndi musajja Munyoro.
Munyoro. Bambi. Jebali. Bigenda bitya?
Bigenda bulungi sinyeerawo ebyo.
Oli mu Amalula?
Ndi mu Amalula so.
Mbadde sikyogedde nga ng'oba olina ebibiina bimeka by'oli mu Amalula yokka mw'ozannyira?
Amalula mwenzannyira n'ebiseera ebisinga n'emirimu gye nkola ebbaliwo ebitwe ebitwe.
Okola mirimu ki emirala?
Emirimu gye nkola buno babuyita busta. Busta key orders buno abazungu basinga okwawo. By'abazungu basinga okwagala ebyo batwala ebyo.
Buno bafa obw'Ekinnayuganda
Ekinnayuganda ebyobwongo magezi gatta. Ebyobwongo ebyo.
Obukolera wa?
Mbikolera awo era ewaka.
Obeera wa nakulabye banga obeera?
No, Nansana.
Nansana?
Neso.
Sooka otubuulire, bangamba waliwo omusajja oyo yenyumiriza mu ndabika ye agikozeemu ssente ne nga nteekwa omuleeta ku bench. Watandika otya okujja ozanye Katemba?
Nze nagenda okujja mu Amola family, nali nasooka dda okulaba Amooti oyo. Olunaku we yali akola akalango k'enankulaba supermarket ye eri awo gye bayita welcome simanyi biki naye nga eri awo nankulaba eri Kyengulu eritunudde opposite ne Toto. We nasooka okulaba Amooti oyo. Amooti ne mutumira waliwo akalango ke yali akola naye nga saakifaako nnyo nti nno bw'oba naki mutuukirira n'entambula n'engenda. Naye balumu nva ku mulimu eri mu Bazungu netuuka we nankulaba ennyenya taxi kye mba nsanga omusajja eyali atuvuga atuleeta e-Nansana. N'agamba tijebale kale nange nemuddamu n'aŋŋamba
olinnya taxi ogenda bibyo
ngenda ewaka tanse embozi ng'omuntu ananyumya. N'aŋŋamba okimanyi ky'oli mugagga nimugamba bugagga ki
omusajja akutereka
atanse okuva atantombuuza nga bugagga ki mugamvaako lwaki tonvaako mwagala tujja mu bigambo kyabaŋŋamba nti nno nti gwe oli mugagga mu biseera bye eby'emmaaso gwe ne famire yo oba gwe ne baganda bo oba gwe ne naani ne famire yo baganda bo bamaama bo oba tatawo bagenda kuba bagagga lwa nsonga nti lwakubanze nti feesiyo kya bugagga eri abantu bantu ki abakulu n'abato n'abazungu oba n'abalala abuno mu Uganda nendowooza oba byakulimba naŋŋamba keera ku makya genda ku kibulooka enansana ewa Moti wabeera bw'otuukawo omubalanguzi onootuukawo obuuza Amoti wakola ki wabeera saali mu nsobi nga nkeera ku makya lwaleerwa Sande nga n'akalango kakwata kati nenkeera ku makya neŋŋendayo kati wenagendayo nasangawo embwa zaali nnyingi nnyo manya Amoti mulunzi wa mbwa alunda nnyo embwa kati embwa ezo sikolagana nazo zempya nnyo embwa era obulamu bwange bwonna okuva mu buto n'okutuusa n'essaawa eno eyaleero nti embwa
todduse misinde awo
kati ntuuka embwa zitandika oboggola ziboggola nzira emabega bwenu kati mukudde emabega musajja nampa beera tamu ninga ziboggola kyabambuuza oyagalaane mugamba mbadde njagala kwa mwami Amoti era mwami Amoti nti nga taliiwo agenda alina gy'alaze nti nti ye kati nkoze nti omulaba nti komawo enkya ku Mande saawa egi emu naddayo eka enneebaka ekiro naye nga omutima gwasula eno era wa Amoti naddayo
okola buli obuntu
nga nkola obuntu buli busitaazi nenkera ku makya zaali zakati nennyemooka nentuuka awo ewuwe wenatuukawo nembeerawo kati wenabeerawo nensanga mukazi we nga bavudde batanse okola emirimu ebyawaka ati nemutuukira gye baliko nnyabo ng'alina Shamimu mukazi we natuukira mukazi we Shamimu kimba mubuuza gye baliko nnyabo kale nawe gye baliko kale ambuuza obadde oyagala nsobola nkuyamba ki timbadde neetaaga ku mwami gwe bayita Amoti Ombalanguzi nti omwagaza ki naye waliwo ansindiise okujja okwetaba mu byakatemba nti nti ye tebagera ne bamuyita twe bamuyita Amoti yajja yeegolola nga omanyi omuntu ng'avudde mu tulo najja ni muntu kyoyo aneetaaga agenda ofuluma ebweru ali nyambadde akakofiira naŋŋamba yono omusajja neetaaga nti muzeeyi gyebale kale naawe gyebale nkuyambe ki muzeeyi mbadde nzize kwetaba mu byakatemba kyo mu byakatemba nti ye jjako enkofiira ndabe mubi nnyo nga n'omuntu yennyini tasobola kola ki kuumeerera nange oba kuneereranya nga bantya kati Amoti olwagira ngaakola ki natunuulira nagamba ono ye ono atandika ayinza obaamu ki omulamwa agenda kugjayo ekintu agenda kutukolera ssente kati olwagira nampa enamba y'essimu kati wampa enamba y'essimu naŋŋamba keera ku makya ku Lwokuna ojje enankulabye ku Kyezi omanyiwo nti ye n'oba tumanyiwo obuuza nti ye ampa enamba y'essimu era ku makya we nakeera ndimukubira ku simu naŋŋamba kale jangu nga njija kati omuzannyo gwe nasookerako ddala gwali gwakubba firiji
lw'otuuka lwennyini bakuwa roole ey'okuzannya
we natandikira awo
omwaka ki ogwo
we natandika okubba firiji nennema
yali 2009
gyali
8 omazeyo myaka
awo 26 awo mabegako awo ndisijjukira bulungi kubanga biri awo wewati awo wakati awo Chichi. Kyatugende nkwesente.
Bannange wadde bakasitoma bambuze naye
Lwaki?
kati gwantwale tugenda kuzaala mwana ng'afaanana atya.
Ekyokutaala omwana tokifaako. Kiri nti olina sente oba?
Tolabangako muntu azira kumugula kati nazize ontwala wa. Nze nvaako nva. Nze kisobola gyontwala. Bannange bannange omusajja nze siina gyendaga. Nze siina gyendaga. Sijja kugenda bannange omusajja ntwala.
Weeyongereyo.
Sijja.
Kati abantu bwe balaba nga balaba ekintu balaba side mirror eyasooka nga mulimu nze abantu banyumirwa nnyo batandika okumanya batandika okubeera nti Kapere amoto we yatandika wenajjamu engatto we yantumira erinnya lya Kapere naga Kapere
engatto zaali ziwunya.
No date ziwunya naye just nga bwe omanya ebyali bya comedy nenzijjamu awo nazijjamu naga Kapere owunya ebigere yambala kiyingira kati awo natandika okukola ki naye n'okutuusa n'essaawa ya leero abantu batandika okumanya ki kyentandisa okukola era n'essaawa ya leero Amoti oba kankigeze nti Mwamulula liringa ssomero ssomero nti omuntu ojja nga wonokwata omwana omutwala n'asoma n'akuguka n'atuuka mu siniya oba n'ava mu kibiina kyatandikiddeko kuva mu pepi paka mu ttaamu ekwaki ekisembayo ngamba P7 aba akuguse aba asobola okubala aba asobola okugatta aba asobola okukola buli kimu ogamba ne kati Amalula ssomero Amalula ekulaga mikwano Amalula future ogamba ekulaga future maaso wa olaga.
So olunaku olwo lw'otuuka Amoti akuyisa ogenze ku Chezi balina bagenda ku shootinga side mirror baliwaawo kiki bagamba tebalina kye bamubuuza
Amoti bamubuuza buuza omusajja omugjeewa naye yabagamba nti omusajja azze wange yajja ewange kuki ku makya n'ansaba omulimu naye kyeyasookako okuŋŋamba kyali kimu nga nakasaba omulimu naŋŋamba nti ozze kuzannya naye bino ebintu by'ojjiridde si byangu nga ggwe bw'osuubidde nti ogenda kujja ogende nawabula si biki si byangu naawe olina okuba weeyiya oba kibayita omuntu omulimu byozzeemu si biki
kwegamba yakukuutira oleme kulowooza nti enfunayo yonna eneebeera ku ekyo
kati awo wekyali kati nange wenatandikira awo.
So mikwano gye abaakulabanga okola buno obuntu obuki holder bakulabye ku TV awo
mikwano gyange abasinga abamu kati benali nabo beewuunya nnyo katemba kwentandisa ozannya abantu abamu betwalinga nabo ab'emikwano batandika okuzimba emitima nga bwebamanyi okukoza ekintu ekyamaanyi atandise okuzimba omutima ekintu ye kyatasobola kukola nga ye omuntu
ate nga labwe bujo gwe basekerera wali okukola buki holder
wansekerera nga bagamba toli kyoli biki ne kati sawa ya leero abaali batabanjagala ate batandika okujja genda ate baneebuusaako tukuze tutya nange ne mbagamba munene nange simanyi kiyinza bagamba nange nalabiraawo Katonda ng'akinsuddeko
kyamageru
ansuddeko nange yaddira emikono gye gyonna n'agimalirako n'aŋŋamba agenda okola ki
kati oli musajja mumanyifu tewaliwo oyita ne batega omusajja wuyo ayiseewo. Alright, so njagadde weera okusooka okubira abantu ekifaananyi omulimu gwo mu Amalula family n'ebiringa ebyo naye bakuzaalawo John Mbuuse Yokana bakuzaala luddawo?
Nze banzaala ku Yesu Amala gyenkulidde enansana gyenkulidde naye nga siwe waffe just twasendawo okusengawo wetubeera naye nga batuziika Hoima gyebatuziika ewaffe gyetubeera kyekyalo kyaffe.
Okukula kwo kwali kutyawo tubuulire ku maama ne taatawo?
okula kwange era kwali kuzibu nnyo era kyobalaba wendi wano
webalizawo
siri musanyufu nti lwansonga nti oba ndi musanyufu ebintu byonna byenkola nga tatta wange yanzaala oba yakeera ku makya nanzaala oba mama wange yakeera ku makya nanzaala essaawa ya leero tebaliiwo baafa lwansonga baafa ndi muto nange saamanya kubanga nange nagezangako obuuza bamuzeeyi bange nti taata wange ne mama wange baalagawa naye nga ye jjajja agamba mbuno baafa nange muli nekirowooza nti nga womanyi ebyekito ningamba oba bannimba oba banzanyisa era nenkula nga mmanyi gye bali nengenda oweza emyaka 11 nga tebaliiwo tebaliiwo ne bantwala ne kubijja gyeyo mu kyalo ne bandaga nti baawo ninga taata yagenda okufa nga ndi mu P3 nga nsoma era yafa nga ngamba nti ngenda kufa mwana wange naye jjajjaawo ogoli naye ekitaawo ye mamo esingaawo era golina okubeera naye nini essaawa ya leero n'okutuusa yasimuvaako kyenfuna oba nfunye sukaali oba nikemba nfunyewo akatonotono konna nkamutwalira
kwegamba jjajja ono
ye yankuza okuva mu buto nanjigiriza emirimu mingi nnyo gyanjigiriza okupoota okuzimba ebyo ebyekikupootapota ebyo nanjigiriza bingi nnyo mwe nafuna n'obulwadde obwankwata obwannemesa n'okusoma naye nga nali nkyayagala kweyongerayo okusoma.
Lindako mbuuse tugenda kutandikirawo katukomewo mu kitundu ekiddako tugenda maaso ne Tuwaye ndi ne Yokaana Mbuuse musajja muzannyi wa mizannyo mu Nakatemba ali mu kibiina ekiyitibwa Amarula katukomewo. Katugende mu maaso so Mbuuse jjajja wona ali myaka ng'emeka mu kuteebereza okukwo?
Mzee wange omusajja ali myaka 85.
85?
Eso.
Yakuze.
Ate ng'omukazi zamumwena.
Bombi webali?
Webali so.
Enansa naawo wogambye ku Yesu amala?
Eso. Webali webabeera nakati.
Bakusomesa olwo n'oluyita mu masomero ki otuuseewa?
Wenali omuto wawe essomero nasomerako edda naye wakuba kati tekikyaliwo nga omanyi ebyedda baali bayita 20 James. 20 James.
Saint James.
Yes.
Okay.
Wenavaayo nengenda e Buddo. Wenavaayo essomero liri era nasa balita Buddo. Wenavaayo nengenda ku Charity wenatandika okusomera okuva P1 paka P3. Wenatandika okusomera muzeeyi wange omusajja we yalwalira omusajja we taata wange we yatandika olwalira awo era ebyokusoma ne bakale nensoma mu P5 ne bampeera ne bagamba kati ssente bannaye tezikyaliwo tukirina we tujja ssente katusalewo okuyigiriza emirimu gyolina nga okujja ssente jjajja wana gyali muzimbi omusajja nentandika okupoota wenatandika okupoota nenjiga ebintu ebimu bye nali simanyi naye nga sijja emirimu egyali awo naye nga egy'amaanyi nnyo.
Naye ng'obaamu n'ekikumi kyo nga bw'ogikola obaamu n'ekikumi kyo?
Nga mbaamu n'ekikumi naye nga obuzibu bwe bwava byali by'abawala nga we nali mbeera nga bankuba bantulugunya ng'omuntu omutulugunya
awaka oba mu kitundu awo? Mu
kitundu kyawo nga waliwo abawala abakulu nali sisobola kulwerwanako nga bwobimanyi nali munafu era nga nina obusungu bungi nnyo naye nga era obusungu obwo bujja kijja nembeera awo nga bwoba mbeera munyivu nsobola kunyega oba obusungu bubisse amaaso oba bubisse obwongo bwange asobola kumanya nti mukwano gwange oyinza okumpita kapere
ng'olwana nnyo?
Nnwana nnyo okubeera nga nkijjawo
kyekyeŋŋamba physical ng'olwana okuba ebikonde
nga njagala olwana naye ng'ate saagala kulwana.
Okay.
Nga saagala nnyo lwana. Kati abawala ba okunkuba gamba nga bw'omanyi abakazi ne bankuba.
Bali bawala bakulu olwo bakubira ki? Byabato olugono?
Bintu bingi bya ku mazzi byonga bw'omanyi tonsoose tugenda ku luzzi tonsooka gwe tonsooka
olwana ffenna twakukuliramu okwokuluzi.
Ekyanviiramu ebyo by'okubeera nga ne
tobakubye olwo.
Ekizibu ekyaliwo nafuna obulwadde obwajja amangu mangu oba bye bayita nti omuntu ayinza okujja n'azimba ekintu kibayita omangu nekizimba mangu mangu kikuviirako okulwala. Nalwala aniya oyo abeera mu lubuto. Aniya oyo yatandika mpola mpola naye nga aniya yakkambu oba kankiike oba mu bifo by'ekyama. Namala ebbanga lya myezi 3 nga sikyebaka, sikyalya, sikyanywa. Kakaabe muzeeyi wange saagala antuukirire nga nze. Naye lwali lumu olunaku olwasembayo mu mwezi oba omwezi kyazimba kituuka okwengerera muzeeyi wange n'anjijjamu engoye n'akirinnyako nga mpulira nfa. No ngakiri oba nga kikaluba kiringa ejjinja naye ng'akinyiga kikole ki? Kiddeyo munda. Naye kati oba ekyatuyamba baneiba wawo omuvubuka baali bamuyita basi.
Mu mawulire agamu amakadde waliwo nali ndabye ku kifaananyi kyo.
Ag'oluzungu
oba n'ag'oluganda yali bukedde.
Gaali gabukedde nga
kyavaawo embeera eyo yakutwaza amawulire.
Kati embeera eyo wawo omukwano gwange baali bamuyita Bashiri era abeera awo Nansana baali bazze kupangisa nabatina kati bakyaliwo. Nambuuza mbuuse wange wabaki naye nga saagala mubuulira nti kizibu ki kiriwo
ng'otya okwogera nti ebitundu by'ekyama biriko ekizibu.
Nti omubuulira nangamba abange omusajja ojja fiira bwereere kyemba mugamba nina aniya yankwata kyaba nkwata nankamba tantukire ku bukedde nalinamu obusentesente bwange nali nterese bwe natuuka ku bukedde ate bo bawandika sitoole ey'obulwadde gibuva. Olwagira nenzire waka waite ennaku 2 nga teri buyambi bwe ndaba era omukwano gwange oyo yennyini Basiiri. Kati muganda we akolamu alina mukwano gwe muganda we ate alina mukwano gwe akola mu New Vision asobola okujja wano n'akuyamba. Kati olwakira enkeera ne baŋŋamba abeera weetegeke bulungi era enkeera neetegeka bulungi nnyo ng'omuntu weetegekera omugenyi nti agenda kujja. Nenjija omwana najja bwe yajja ne tufuna omukeeka ne tuteekawo awo ewaka ne batuula ne bambuuza ebintu bingi nnyo. Nambuuza oli bulungi sina na ssanyu. Nambuuza kiki kyoyagala abantu bakuyambe. Mbagamba mbadde nsaba abantu banyambe omugira sayina gy'ali nga baba asobola okunnyamba ne bandongoosa ekirwadde kino naye ndi bubi ndi mugeyeena. Musajja teyakola nsobi naŋŋamba nti osobola okweyambula weewaddeyo era omutima ogwo gwava dda nga buli kimu sitya sikola ki
n'omugaa nti
neeyambula. Kati we neeyambula ne bankuba ekifaananyi waayita wiikisi ezo 2. Kati kumukisa amawulire ago baali baagasoma
Mukisa yewa
eri Mukisa nga sinabagenda sibamanyi
Mukisa kitongole
kitongole kiyamba abaana abalina obulemu ku mibiri gyabwe.
Okay.
Kati
kiri luddawo
kiri Lungujja
erungujja mu Lubaga eri
Lubaga erungujja. Kati abazungu ne basindika abavuuka baali basatu n'ekifaananyi n'ebbulire.
Amawulire mulimu bakuteeka.
Okay. Najanga banyonya kati kyo Mukisa omulungi bansanga we waka ne bambuuza gye bakosebo nange ne mbaddamu ne bambuuza oli bulungi mbanga abanesiri bulungi tyo
ekintu kikyazimbye
kyeyongera mu maaso lwagira bangamba nkya jangu ku Mukisa okusaawa bweziti nenkera ku makyane mukwano gwange oyo yennyini Bashiri nga nyambako namperekerako ne tugenda ku Mukisa. Bwe twatuuka ku Mukisa twabasangayo ne bankebera wamala okunkebera nangamba nzireyo nenzirayo ne bangamba komawo nenzirayo bangamba komawo nenzirayo nga bagera bankebera olwako olwaddako lwali lwakuna ne bangamba genda okufuna ebyokubeerera ku kitanda genda okufuna omuntu anakubeerera ku kitanda nabeera bwe nawaddayo waka ne bagamba muzeeyi wange kati ate nga jjukira muzeeyi wange tasobola kubeererawo mukadde neŋŋamba ku baganda bange abamu ne baneetantalaana nga ne bayesenyiwa ne bagamba tujja kuyamba naffe tulina we tukola naffe tulina emikwimu
bali baganda babaddala
bali basatu balenzi basatu nze owokusatu
bali bakulubo
bali bakulu bange. Kati ono yennyini Basiiri eyanyamba mu buli kimu kyonna naŋŋamba nze nja kubeerera ku kitanda ne bankwate nanga tewali buzibu nze nja kubeererayo ekiba kibe. Era olwakera ku makya ne bantwala Emmengo ne banjijanjaba ne bandongoosa. Kati olwagera ne banjijanjaba ne malayo ennaku 7 ku kitanda nga bamaze okundema. Muzeeyi wange najja muzeeyi omusajja nandabako jijja ne jindabako n'abazungu bajjaawo. Kati mukwano gwange oyo omulala wa Nivision yakwatuba ekisa muli mutima nakwata emitwalo 2 n'agimpa najja n'ebyokunywa n'ebyokulya mu ddwaliro naŋŋamba bw'obanga oyagala olina kizibu kyonna onkubirangako kasimu nejja era enamba engiine waka lwakuba abeera bize.
So mwaka ki ogwo yali
gyali
2
gyali 2
olina emyaka emeka ye kati?
Nina emyaka 26. N'emyaka 26.
So ku kitanda wavaayo owonye Emmengo?
Bwe navaayo
wawulira nga oteredde?
Natandika okuwulira nga nteredde ntandise okuwona. Abazungu abo bennyini ne bangamba toyina mulimu ne mbagamba nedda ng'olwo sinagenda mu Amawula ne bangamba toyina mulimu bagamba sina mulimu era sina kyenkola kuyigiriza ne tukusomesa onookwata mutwego nti ye kati wawo omuzungu bamwita Sonia yagenda Germany naye nga agenda nakomawo naye kati gyali yawaayo obudde bwe n'atandika okunsomesa nansomesa stars key orders nansomesa kati yagenda olaba obwongo bwange bukwata nnyo
olinga omwana wa bulijjo
nansanyuka nnyira ku Mukisa n'agamba omwana abeere mwana wa wano waka waffe mwana wa wano era kati ndi mwana waayo nga just family
ogendayo ennyumba teri mukubo otuula ne
munyumya nenge emmere nenywa chai bikine kola ku mirimu awo bikikubanga bibanjija mu byokufa bibanyamba
bakujja
wazibu ennyo we nali ngenda ku mugo gw'entaana kumakumpi ku mugo gwa ntaana nansanyuka nnyo n'atandika otambula nange nantwala eri Nakasero nali simanyiiyo naŋŋamba ngenda kugulira waya nangulira waya enene n'entono ne bubidisi ne magalo mpa ne ssente ezinantambuza ng'oleetanga ebyo ebintu eri ku mukiso bigula ati wagira nembeerayo ebbanga niweerera omwaka enaweza omwaka bakola pate y'abaana nga omanyi eby'abaana
olwo oli awo naye tonnaba kuzuula nti osobola okuzannya omuzannyo
nga sinazuula
okay
kati baŋŋamba omulimu kati ne baŋŋamba ti tumaze okuyigiriza kati ogenda tutandikanga okugula gate oba openinganga dowa ng'oggulawo olugya abazungu abajja oyingira n'abafulumi ng'oluka ezinga nezikola ki
olinnya amayinja olwo
kati nga simanyi mikisa gyange mukama gyakola ki gyategese tandika okugula abazungu bangi nnyo abajjanga nga omuzungu yali yampa ruumu n'awandikako John workshop nti abazungu bajjanga ne bagula ebintu ebyo nabitwala nga babyettanira babitwala kumawo kati abeeri e Bulaaya ale ne bagamba ne bannaabwe ne bakola ki
tinaffe mutugulize
munaffe mutugulize mujje nabo nabajja omuzungu n'atwalako eyo bayitayo bateeno ng'oyisa entebe nowawo bazanya basketball ekifo eyo abazungu batero
bikizayo nyingi
nantwalayo netubeerayo nnyo
kwegana oli obulamu
ng'olwo tugenze tundanga wona babiri kafuka
wali
omwoleso mbeerawo awo
lindako mbuuse tugenda kutandikira awo katukomewo tukyagenda maaso ne Tuwaye ndi ne Yokaana Mbuuse musajja munakatemba
ya Amoti
kwegana Amoti naye abadde kitundu kinene
era kinene nnyo
senga yagoba luliro wagendayo ewuwe
senga yangoba nange nali simanyi naye ng'era we yali yangoba nali simanyi era nange kyekyenalibadde nkola essaawa eyo naye kati essaawa ya leero era nze nkubiriza abantu bonna mu Uganda abalaba NTV nti yinza okuba olina kyoli naye nga tokimanyi kyoli ki yinza osanga omuntu n'omusekerera n'omuvuma n'okola ki oba n'okola ki n'ogamba nti ekyo kikina kikiyinza kunkola basuula abaana baabwe mutoyo olw'okuba alina emitwe eminene ena n'amusuula osuula abasinga abamu basuula abaana mu matooyi n'asuula omwana awa tamwagala weeganye omwana wo gwe weeganye tomanya nti ayinza omuzaala enkya n'aba vice president oba n'aba president mu America
abazadde baleme kunyooma baana bebazadde
tunyooma abaana
so ebiseera byo ebyeddembe Mbuuse okola ki bw'oba toli mu workshop yo oba toli kwa Malula
nze ebiseera byange ebyeddembe mbisinga bimala nga nkola obuntu
weegayaliza awo
nkola ssente oba nkubira essimu angamba Kapero liriddawa jangu nentereka ebintu byange wali eri mu sitowa nenkola ki nengenda nenkola ejange kati ssente ezo zenkola nzongeramu no kapito mwenkola obuntu obwo kati obuntu obwo bw'obutunda n'ogenda n'obutunda mu bazungu eyo ssente ezo zivaayo nnyingi
fe abaddugavu tetubugula oyagala abazungu bokka
abazungu mubigula naye ate mubaamu abaddugavu agamba bino mbikozesa eki omanyi olugezigezi lw'abaddugavu bino mbikozesa eki tulaba abannayuganda abamu babeera tebasoma nenga kwatandikirawo
toyinayo girlfriend awo nemugira nemutambulamuko
girlfriend mwina naye ate girlfriend mwina asomera wali Makerere wali ewandigira asoma Luzungu naye ate Kampasa naye ate girlfriend Oluganda alumanyi yeefula ayogera Oluzungu ennyo
naye ng'ate amanyi Oluganda
amanyi Oluganda
kye bayita okweraga
kweraga kati nange
tanyiga engoga yeeraga
amanyi Oluganda naye wajja eno ayogera Luzungu kitaba kati nange omuwala nnemye alya ssente Nkyajja kujja asaba ebizigo bya mitwalo 2 bino ebizigo bye batunda mu simanyi wa
babyongeddeko n'omusolo
nviiri zeetaaga ogera mu saaluuni buli kimu kugamba
n'omusobola oyo
anti kati nagenda olaba ng'omuwala oyo sijja musobola ngamba munnange kati nze nja kunyunya omuwala nanjagalira mu mbeera zange embi sigamba nti siina sente naye ananjagala mu mbeera zange nganze kapere
nga tomukwasa nsonyi yakulaga
tankwasa nsonyi nga tugenda wali tugendawo naye nga saagala byakwogera luzungu. How are you? I'm okay. I'm fine.
Babayita basensi wen
ebintu ng'ebyo biba bintama nganze kapere ze saasoma kutuuka wala okiya
babanga bakujereka
ababanjereka oyinza okugamba I finished for eating food
alwogera naye nga ne sente talina gwatalumanyi oyina sente.
Hey kapere, you got for 25,000 dollars money biki busimanyi bikoze bicha kati nze kapere waabwe sente nazijjawa nange sente ntetenkanya omuntu nga watetenkanya
naye ng'olinawo ezizo
naye ninawo ezange naye wabaawo sente weetuuka ekiseera nekuzimbya n'amaaso oyinza okunoonya sente noddawali kutawuka ffe tetwebaka.
Amalula esasula bulungi.
Amalula esasula sente nze kinjagaza ku Amalula family lwansonga era nze sensaba mukama ono Amalula yeyongere maaso ekule ebe nene ganga ne mu Uganda bajogerako Amalula family eyina ekizimbe kyayo kikyo basomesezaamu baana. Nze era kyensaba mukama Amalula family ebeere nene nnyo. Amalula ssomero nga we nagambye okeera ku makya n'otwala omwana ku ssomero nze teri yali amanyi. Nze nne nebaza mukama lwa nsonga lwa Amalula nebazaamu oti kye yankolera nebaza pade mese nebaza n'abantu bennyini okumpagira abatulaba ffenna.
Kiki ekirala kapere ky'osuubira okukola kubanga Katemba togenda mumalamu simanyi ekirooto kyo senga ova Katemba mu kiseera kino ki ekirala kyoyagala okukola?
Katemba ono bwe mba nga mukama banga simanyi ndiso lya Katonda kiteriraba mu maaso
teekateeka tozimanyi
nange simanyi nange ndabirawo naye nga simanyi ndiso lya Katonda linengererawa. Nze kyensuubira mu Katemba oba nga mbadde nvuddemu oba nga nkyalimu nsuubira okuzimba amaka ag'essanyu ag'eddembe nga nzimba ennyumba yange ng'omuntu asobola ogiraba nti ennyumba ya Kapere. Nsuubira okufuna omwana naye ng'omwana oyo yeeyagaza mu bantu naye ng'alinga kubanga lwansonga kitaawe n'omwana bonna bali awo bakisanyusa naye nga nabo bakolaki nabo ng'ali omwana taata maama tutambulira mu famire ng'omuntu anaaba ne famire ye bagenzeko mu ssinzizo bagenzeko mu supamaketi kugamba ng'omuntu wanatambule nga yeeyagaza si bino byagamba nti omwana wa Kapere no nze omwana wange bw'abanga muzadde ajja kuba mu kikomera nze omwana wange byanazanyisa bigenda kuba bya bbeeyi oba kale si bya bbeeyi naye nga byakuzanyisa ebisaamusaamu oba bumotoka ng'oba oba kagaali oba biddole.
Oyagalayo baana nga bameka?
Njagalayo abaana nga 3 bamala kubanga sijja sobola kuzaala abaana ennyo nga bomyo. Njagalayo abaana 3 be naasobola okuweerera.
Byenfuna bikalu by'ennaku zino.
Nekyenkubiriza abantu nti bw'olaba muno kyakoze tokola ki tozimba nnyo mutima
obujja bulembi buveewo. Tweyanziza nnyo webale kutuwa biseera ani akudesigning enviiri nalabye akaviiri okasonsudde nenga omusajja nga wa mutawaana nnyo
andesigninga musajja ali bamuyita byalo ate nga mukwano gwange ate omulala gwensinga okwagala nnyo mu bantu bensinga okwagala
abantu bosinkanye mu bulamu
mbu bwange kugamba gwe ntambula naye nandaga abagagga be nali simanyi Amoti omukwano asooka badde mikwano ewokubiri Mese mikwano ekisingako ate yasinga nenzizaako Suuna buli Suuna saagala mwerabira
ate byalo aku designing
ne byalo n'omulala gwe bayita ani gundi ono ani ono
omwerabidde
Hajati
owawa
Hajati Nansana Hajati bangi nnyo Hajati Mubiru wakiseka abo ba Hajati Mubiru wakiseka bangi nnyo bafaani bange besoogeddeeko bagundi ba magoba abo magobeere makinje
kasita bamanyi obalowooza kwebale nnyo ebiseera byo
kale
bwana John Mbuusi olala bwe tukuyitanga tolema okujja
njakubangawo naye mwebale nammwe kutubeeranga mwebale nammwe okubeera nga mwongera n'amaanyi okubeera nga mulabisa abaserebu kubanga wabaawo abaserebu ababeera wansi bambi nga nabo beegomba okujja ku TV naye nga talina ngeri gyayinza kusangamu naye katubagamba nti Abannayuganda mwenna mweyongera okukola mweyongera okuyiiya ssente mukama yekka teyeerabira baki
yagaba omukisa webale nnyo okutuusa omulundi omulala ebadde Tuwaye oyo abadde Yokana Mbuuse musajja munakatemba ali mu kibiina ekiyitibwa Amarula okutuusa omulundi omulala mubeere bulungi.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Art and Design Show. Coming up, we get up close and personal with a renowned playwright. We explore the ancient art of henna design. These and more stories coming up. In this part of the show, we meet renowned playwright Alex Mukulu, and he talks about the plays he has written and the reasons behind them. The roots of African theatre are ancient and complex and deeply embedded in our history. Our content and theatrical styles are a result of our traditional folklore and centuries of colonialism. In East Africa, we have Penina Muhando of Tanzania, Francis Mbuga of Kenya, and in Uganda, Alex Mukulu. Alex Mukulu is a born playwright who started to write at the age of 10 and has not looked back since. Since 1977, he has written a play every year.
I was a scout cub. You know the cubs, those young boys who are not yet scouts but intended to become scouts. And there was a scouts festival in the National Theatre. I was then studying in Namiryango Junior Boys School. So the sisters, the nuns, asked me to write this play, and I wrote it. It was called Kabangala Sasud. Kabangala is my grandfather. There's legends about him that he did something which caused him to be nicknamed.
30 Years of Bananas and Radio Mambo Bado are notably the most famous of his plays.
And 30 Years of Bananas, I think most people talk about it because it really was about them. It was about us. It was about Ugandans and what they went through. So it had very close sentiment to the people. And I think that's why they enjoyed it and talked about it. It was dealing with people they knew, And for the first time, we are talking about presidents, which had never happened.
Alex believes the play should be able to expose what is happening in our society and not fiction.
You must have something that makes you angry. If you have something that makes you angry, then you have a reason to write something down. But if you don't have anything which makes you angry, you'll never sit down to write anything. So the art of writing, I think, is about having something you are angry about.
Countless numbers around the world have blindly put their faith in the order of the uniform, but instead have come to grief. Is this what you wanted for this country?
Alex does insist that plays should be written to depict on what is happening around us, rather than fiction.
Some people write about things they don't know about. For example, you write about millionaires, you know, when you are not. You act being a doctor. You know, you write about the hospital when you really don't know anything about a hospital. You write about a bank when you don't know about it. You write about marriage when you don't know anything about it. So the difference is that I don't write about anything. I write fiction. I write things I've seen, I've known. Perhaps there's a little exaggeration, but normally they are things, history, characters I know, girlfriends I have been with, my friends. So I really bring those people I know.
Captain Binaisa replaced him by some supporters from Kilasha. His idea was to put all the players on a train wagon and take them to a national tour to refresh their minds.
Just as Alex once said, people are sharpened by people just as steel is sharpened by steel. And with more than 30 plays under his belt, he still believes that his best is yet to come.
Every well-done thing inspires me. And there are people who do good things. In terms of music, you can mention lots of people. Hugh Masekela. I like Hugh Masekela, inspires me. I like Yosundu, Serif Keita. I like Miriam Makeba. I like Manu Dibango. In theater, I'm inspired by Wole Soyinka. From childhood. I was always looking, up to Wole Soyinka, the Chinua Achebes, those people, African writers who started writing, I don't have any individual dancer who has inspired me much, apart from perhaps almost Michael Jackson, because he would do a perfect job. But I enjoy the African dances which are really well done in terms of their authenticity, like the Ntv from Rwanda, like the South African wood dance, like our Lunyege here, and sometimes Ding Ding and Bora. I like dances with energy. Well done, precise, tight dances.
Alex's dedication to his art is so good that people find it hard to discern whether he's serious or not. In this part of the show, we bring you the ancient art of henna painting, which goes back 9,000 years. Of late, there has been a renewed interest in this art form. It has now been accepted worldwide as an art in self-expression and individuality. Henna painting has its roots in spirituality and has been linked with marriage. This art of body decoration is a practice that is probably one of the older forms of art, especially in North Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Henna dye comes from the leaves of the henna plant. Fresh henna leaves have a very earthy scent. When the paste is made with a proper mixture of henna powder, lemon, and eucalyptus oil, you get a distinctive henna fragrance. Many professional henna artists today draw their designs from all the diverse cultures they encounter and infuse them into their work. Today we meet Maria Mohammed, who is a professional henna artist. She has designed her fair share of women in her long career. Mariam's skill has obviously grown over the 10 years she has been practicing, and she plans to open a henna design school. To the untrained eye, the process may seem chicken feed, but don't be fooled. It takes a lot of skill to get the patterns and designs neatly placed onto the body. Mariam, because of her experience, makes the whole process seem so easy and fast. Her skilled strokes take you on a pleasant and hypnotic journey. Upon arrival at her home, we are given a brief background on henna design from Mariam's daughter, Kamar.
They mix it with thinner. They first pour thinner in it, then again they pour water, then they mix it, and it's left for some time to produce its color. If it's shining, we can put it outside so that it can get a little bit heat, or you can put it next to the fire. After some time, and there are two colors, the red one and the black one. The red one is mixed the way I've told you, and the black one, it's mixed as in with only water. And that one doesn't need any time to produce its color. It's already ready, as in if it's mixed, it's ready to use.
Many of us, if not at all, painted onto their hands or legs, and maybe assume that this kind of art is restricted to Muslims or people with Arabic heritage. But the reality is that henna designs are available to any woman who wishes to look beautiful and different, especially towards their wedding days and parties.
Now it's the bridal. They've finished the chest and also the hands here. So it's on the hands now. After doing that, when she finishes doing this hand and the others plus the leg, she will begin filling. I'll help her filling in the red color.
It is important to note that these designs are not permanent, as the skin exfoliates over time, causing the henna design to fade. If you want them to stay longer, we've got a few tips for you.
You don't have to do a lot of work for it to go off. If you want it, you can keep it. You don't have to be in water all the time so that the color stays there. And after it dries and they finish for her right now, she'll put some Vaseline to bring out the color.
Henna is an all-natural, healthy way to explore body art. Some people believe henna brings good luck and prosperity to the wearer. So go on and get yourself a henna design. Not only knows, maybe Lady Luck will shine on you. From the art of henna painting, we now indulge in the fine art of tasting wine. Do you simply drink wine, or do you just taste wine? Anyone can drink wine, but it takes practice to be able to recognize and distinguish a wine's characteristics. If you are new to the wine arena, you may be confused by the jargon on the wine labels, not confident when ordering wine at a restaurant, or making a selection for a special occasion and unsure of what the difference is between a rose and a blush wine.
I have a selection of wines with Petit Chablis, Chablis, Chablis Premier Cru and Chablis Grand Cru.
On this week's show, we get an exclusive opportunity to chat to a wine cellar master, who may be referred to in layman's language as a wine taster. The anxiety of picking up the perfect wine to accompany food can often be paralyzing. Understanding the characteristics of wine relate to its body and taste will make choosing the right wine easy.
So the first step in the Chablis region is the Petit Chablis. And the Petit Chablis is a wine planted on a plate, a very easy wine to taste as a pre-dinner drink. And usually we serve it very chilled and drink it very young as an appetizer. It's a very enjoyable wine.
Surprisingly, white wine can be made from either the white or black grapes, as all grape juice is initially colorless. Red, on the other hand, is made from black grapes that are fermented with the wine and peats. Wine producers worldwide are constantly developing new ranges of reds that are smoother, more rounded, and juicier. These styles range from light and refreshing to sweet and fortified.
The wine is really subjective. You just have to enjoy the wine, and sometimes you will like a certain style and people would like another style. It's really personal.
Wine supplements a meal, bringing out the flavor of the food and characteristics of the wine simultaneously. Why is it that you should always drink whichever wine you prefer? Well, we have some tips as to why and also how to enhance your dining experience.
First, you choose the grape. So you're going to have, for the white, you're going to have Sauvignon or Chardonnay. And then you look at the appellation. So you're going to have Petit Chablis or Chablis, and it depends which level you would like to get. And then the vintage and the style you had, the weather you had on that specific vintage. And the second one I have is the Chablis Fleur d'Acacia 2005. It's a wine which is a step higher to the Petit Chablis, planted on the hills all around the Chablis village. And it's very round and rich with a classic style of Chablis with a strong base of minerality. And we can serve it with seafood, with white meats or poultry. It's longer in mouth and very, very good balance with acidity. And then the other one I have is a Fourchaume 2004. It's a wine which is served usually with oysters and fine textured fishes. It's a very high level of quality, and it's a wine that we are used to keep a little bit to get more complexity. And then the last one I have is Chablis Grand Cru 04. It's the best quality you can find in Chablis, and it's called L'Éclos. It's the most well-known Chablis Grand Cru of the 7 you have in the vineyard. And it's perfect with lobster, with crawfish, or also liver, goose liver. And it's very pure and it's unique for the quality of Chablis.
Well, there are some rules about matching wines with food. It is important to satisfy your own taste first. A general rule is that reds are great to drink with heavier meals, and whites are suited better for items lighter on your palate.
And then if you go up into the range and taste a Chablis or even a Fourchaume, you will wait after 7 to 10 years to get the full complexity of the wine. And for the Grand 15 years, so then you will expect a characteristic from the vintage. But first you have to know exactly what kind of
And there you have it. Next time you are shopping for wine, do note the best way to gain a sense of appreciation is by trying different wines. That brings us to the end of the Art and Design Show. Join us next time for more stories. For now, remember that in the end, it is not the years of your life that count, it is the life in your years. For comments, please email us on artanddesign@ntvuganda.co.ug and do enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Turning on your world.
You just love Kampala City, I'm telling you. Now, conmen have been around for centuries. The thing is, our forefathers have told us stories of how kings were conned out of their land. But the question is this: do all conmen have the same tactics? Do they use the same strategies, philosophies, or do they simply have the mindsets of common thieves? I'm telling you, for the next 30 minutes, you're going to have a brief idea or a glimpse on how conmen work. What can I tell you? This is Tricksters. On the last episode of Tricksters, Edwin lost his coin and made off with a passenger's property.
Conductor. Hey! Madam, check for me. It has fallen under your seat. Once you want to go to Abitano. Nokia. Wait.
And how job hunting can be very frustrating.
Can you imagine you've got cool 11M? 11 in cash. How?
That is good. We need to celebrate.
Definitely.
Can we speak of this? We paid our money, but now it's all gone up in smoke. I can't imagine it. Hello. What's going on? Hi, what's going on? You know what? These people advertise jobs, and after collecting our money, they have disappeared.
And tonight, the Tricksters team has Edwin, Albert, Felix, and Dennis. What they're up to, just sit and watch. Coming up on the show, a hot date turns into ashes.
Kakati, Anita ngina soka mtwale mserena. Over mtwale mwanshenwa. I'm going to give her the...
And Richard strikes a comic ending.
TV. I've got a TV from Kampala. Got a football now. Tumulina. Quality images. From Kampala. TV from Kampala. TV from Kampala.
All right, so I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is this: you're about to learn how traveling in a taxi. The bad news is this: conmen who didn't know about this next con are also about to learn how it works. They might use it on you. Whichever way the news lands on you, at least you're learning, right? Love is the greatest of all gifts. It makes the world go round. So, there is nothing better than to enjoy the good things of life with the people we love.
Sheila?
That guy needs to do some more working out.
Yeah. But Ntv Salvador, man, that was my kind of guy.
That fella. You know that guy? Can beat a group of gangsters with one hand tied behind his back.
That's what I call a man.
I hear Salvador is back with a new movie on TV. Oh no!
I wanted to help him.
That explains why my girlfriend has been rushing home every evening. And I thought she was just getting domesticated.
Well, that's a blessing to your
She
pocket.
be all that for me.
You don't need to take her out every evening. Come on.
Man. I wish Anita could just allow my pockets spend on her. I have just halfway whole year and nothing. Now, I've given up on her. I'm a confirmed bachelor. At your age? Man, open your eyes wide up. The field is ripe with gorgeous babes. Hey, you just let Anita go.
Y'all know she ain't got nothing positive to say.
Stop. Why don't you leave me a message and I'll check it once I get a password,
Miss Anita.
okay? How about that?
Maybe she wants to go out with me. And I've given up on her. Oh my God, this is wonderful. Okay, come. Pick up the phone before it stops ringing. Hello? Yes. Of course I'm free. No. I was a bit busy. But I can be free.
Okay.
When?
Been so long, I don't think I can remember.
Of course. Let me see. Okay. I'm on my way.
We've been married for 53 years.
You know what? She wants to go out with me. Yes. Oh boy, she wants to go out with me.
Hey, don't let us see that you're so eager. Chicks like playing
I
hard to
married
get.
this sweet little soul
You should do the same.
when I was 25
Otherwise,
years
she will take you for granted.
And don't be too
old.
early.
Woman for me.
You just keep her waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to go.
He asked me to wait because
What
he was
stage
going
of
off
my
to the
life?
war.
Hey,
He did.
make sure I don't get banned.
When he came back home, I just knew that
See, man. Big.
In a hurry to meet up with the love of his life, Richard takes the first available taxi. An empty taxi. Well, almost empty.
Boss, tula tugende. Tula, New Park. Kampala Road. We are leaving right now. Sit and we go. Sister Uganda. Jangu tugende. Boss. Mama, jangu tugende. New Park, Kampala Road. Jangu tugende. New Park.
Wait. Don't worry, so far you. Even that because yeah, that's fine. And boss in the Hey, Shishido. Waliwe yasudde sente ze.
Tugambe conductor. Tugambe conductor. He may be knowing where you got out from. Conductor.
Boss, what's wrong with you? Are you okay upstairs? Kakati ate, conductor will take the money and eat it himself.
But what are you suggesting we do? I don't have time to go to the police.
Police?
God has given us this money. And he has made our
Tematukwate.
Ate kutukwata. Uno taxi ingiramu abantu bangi.
kati tulina okukola we have to get out and share tugabane wamuno ate kondakita mu taxi ayinza otula
kakati okirezale you have an important date. I'm meeting the one of my life.
Okay, and with this money, you can take her either to Aizenwa or City. 2 clubs in one night.
Tatulira.
Kakati, tukole bwetuti. Onamusente. So koze. Kati nkuweze okugaba nawo wangwe.
Enkumenya.
Kale ene. Kakati tulina okuvaamu tusheyalinge
akakale
kiraba. Then before, I want to make an important point. Nange waliwo abandize. Ndabe mukubireko. The battery lino. The battery is down. Ojiraba. Kakati tukole tuti. Mpa ku simu yo. Mteke simu kadi muno mwange. Mukubire.
Okay.
Anti kati omanyi nti simu kadi yange simu enamba yange eri ku simu kadi. Kati mani nokola. Iraje. Soko njirire kako nga wenjira bano. Nawe owulire nga weewuunyiza ogambe nti Jesus works in mysterious ways. Connector, tuteeke maaso awo.
Kanjiteeke. Katayimirira. Gulawo.
Hello? Kale.
Kakati Anita ngina soka mtwale Muserena. Ova mtwale Mwanjenwa. I'm going to give her the What is this? Chishino? Hatile kunuka chakula. I think I should call Anita. Mugambe ndijele. Isimu. Ojile mitatu. Taxi egenzo jirabi. Taxi. Banzi beke simu. Kakati. Ni hakisa jaganu. I don't have any money on me. Sobola kubira Anita.
So, when a taxi has few passengers, be on your guard. And again, mind your own business. Now, conmen love taxi cons for one reason. I mean, you simply hit the victim and get off the taxi before they can get you. Or, as in this last con, well, the victim gets off before they get you. And the rest is history. But I have an idea. What if the government was to come up with a law forcing all public places to have computerized cameras? I mean, then it wouldn't be that easy for these conmen to get away. But this is Uganda, and you need to be realistic. Now, we've all seen magic tricks. In fact, now I have this one small little magic trick for you. You see this coin? I'm going to make this coin disappear. Now, pay close attention to the coin. Gone. Now, magic tricks are very common, especially with conmen. And this next magic trick makes appear. Have a look at this.
But you know,
When the year draws to a close, most people look forward to one particular festival, Christmas. The most exciting part of Christmas is the opening of those special gifts from our loved ones. For Richard and his friends, this year, Christmas has come early. He got a gift and decided to put it into good use, buying a TV. Everything was fine until he met Felix and Dennis.
We have TVs and radios, zones are first class.
I'm looking for television.
Yeah.
But a small one will do. You say I don't have so much money.
This one here is the smallest TV we have right now. It's not very expensive. It's just 250,000.
Hey, I only have 150.
Kasuna katukola boti weze emitwalo 23 zokka eno TV yagira ekifaananyi n'ensiri we bayitawo ogiraba
ensiri
olaba omupiira guno gwa Africa Cup olaba speed omupiira gye guddukiramu olaba omuddo nga we wenyeenya weebuti ku kisaawe olaba obuviri ku ntumbo y'omusambi eTV eno sebo
eyo
eno ekifaananyi ekiri kuno sebo
wonderful. Yes. Kani bachali bange bona mone kamwe. Baginde kuchamuka. Wani matovu ate. But I can only add on 20,000.
20,000. Kakati sebo kola boti. Bring that 170,000 tuyizemu awo.
Hey boss. Kati TV okasuke what?
It does simple. Sometimes you have to be considerate. No, a profit katono. Mchiraba.
Tuyagala balete.
By the way, so wagambye ovao. Kamwengi.
You say he came for my sister's wedding. Is it muko? Tebampa ka gift ka mitwalo 15. Kunze kangwe kativi. Isigwe kujata wano.
It's true for each.
That is very good.
That's very good.
That is very good. Kati oda die kamwe.
Today. Yeah, as soon as I get the money, as soon as I get this television. Coming.
But kola what sebo?
I said.
Sasule mtu TV njikuwe.
17
zirete. TV njikuwe.
Are you sure?
What TV otu oyigonde ete kintu. 17 ngotwala ekintu. Yes sebo. Yeah. Take awali. No jije. Kwata. Yangu jirete. Yangu.
17.
Yes. Leta.
Tujukube echo. Ate hopes zibade high. Nezifuuka low.
Munna.
Ate akasule ntambulide bwerere.
Sola kasula.
Aparking
katege box sebo. Yes. Yezo nyine sebo. 17. Kati sebo ne wano. Ne wano. Tuinayo che tuina. Goni tuinayo woofers. Kati woofer jolaba. Yo ya muziki. Ogena mu ewaka ekamwenge. No fundula omuziki boti. Kuchalo bajja tegera nti gwa ave Kampala.
Bakaita batya.
Jeepers. Subwoofer.
Mboka nime okwongera.
Jeepers. Kati wano tuina ne ka DVD player. Kano. Kati no DVD player. Zanya bifaananyi.
Wow.
Bibi no one.
Nini Swaziniga.
Swaziniga. Rainbow. budget li bonna DVD zino
Wamu bamanya abantu bali.
Film tuzina zino
Jetiri
byonna
Jackie Chan
uzanya kuli
ako
mtwalo 15 jokka ngayo DVD okola ki
ate kano
ako yogondi eyo the video deck ezanya tape
eno tape eno
ezanya tape se yo ya mtwalo 9 n'ekitundu
ayishuwa
inayo osobola egondi omaliza yesebo
simanya
yo amaliza lete kintu mkwano lete kintu yes
mpola gira
kako
omanyi thank you ari sikazamu ka transport koga
siwali
naye wale tajagaliza ka TV
mutabani bwacho
kakati kankestulire omanyi oyinza okawa omuntu nakuyisa bubi
kampala bwacho
mwebali
amina
kale
Feli, TV soko jize yangu hapo. Nna. Wewe walida mkunga ezimu mu Kampala. Ane duka tacha ajukira wawe lili. Sibizembe. Samala busama. Eke.
Aka kugwa mu usama.
Busama bo. Eke. Aha, ina. Boss.
I'm from Kampala. Hey. Madam. What? Go, Papa. I brought a deal from where? From Kampala. Quality. Richard. Jimmy, you're back. TV. What's the pictures? TV. I brought a TV from Kampala. Kati football now. Tumulina. Kati mugenda mtola.
This is a TV from Kampala.
This TV? The people who sold it to me in Kampala said, even when they serve the ball, you see the grass doing what? Waving.
Are you sure?
Yeah, quite images.
This is NTV.
It is Sunday evening, the 22nd day of July 2012, and it is 9 p.m. We are broadcasting live from our new studios here at the Serena Conference Center in Kampala. You are right on time for NTV Weekend Edition. The search for new Vice-Chancellor at Makerere University. Details emerged tonight that 5 candidates have cause for concern at the interview process. Find out what action they have got planned as they make their demands. All the details coming up, and a dramatic arrest in Bukoto as police attempt to catch the principal accounting officer in the Prime Minister's office, Geoffrey Kazinda. Kazinda has been missing for a month and is wanted in connection with fraud. A very warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition that's starting right now with the main headlines. 5 out of 7 shortlisted candidates for the post of Vice-Chancellor at Makerere University petitioned the search team with their demands.
On this week's political feature, I'm more researching to bring you why analysts think that government's proposal of creating more districts are a disadvantage to the country.
And join me, Alfred Odong, later on in this bulletin for the results and who has been crowned champion in the just concluded Kampala Amateur Volleyball Memorial Tournament.
Once again, a warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. I am Josephine Karunji. First tonight, NTV has this evening learned that 5 of the 7 candidates for the position of Vice Chancellor of Makerere University this afternoon sent a letter to the search committee in which they listed some of their concerns as pertaining the Vice Chancellor search process. The 5 candidates are Dr. Tony Oyana, Dr. Barnabas Nawangwe, Professor Edward Chirumira, Professor Eli Katunguka Rakshaya, and Dr. Augustus Nwagaba. The candidates hope that the search process will be conducted in a professional, fair and transparent manner, even though at the moment it does not appear to be going that way. Well, their concerns include the lack of timely and effective communication to the candidates. They cited the letters inviting them for the interviews, which they received 2 days later than the day they were dated, with no clear agenda for the interviews stated. The letter inviting the candidates for the public presentation was received by most of them on the 19th of July, without clear instructions on the mode of presentation. The order of appearance of the candidates should have been reversed for the interview and the public presentation to avoid selection bias. One of the candidates, Professor Venantius Pariamureba, was advised to step down by the Solicitor General to avoid conflict of interest in the process to select the substantive Vice Chancellor, but he disregarded the advice. Well, they are demanding that if they are to continue with the process, these demands should be met. Professor Venantius Pariamureba should step down as acting Vice Chancellor immediately. The search committee publishes a clear timetable of the entire search process immediately, that henceforth all official communication to the candidates as well as to the Senate and Council regarding the search process be made formally and in good time. All the 5 candidates will congregate at Makerere University Guest House at 8 a.m. tomorrow as they hope to receive a response to their petition. Now moving on, police have arrested the principal accounting officer in the Prime Minister's office, Geoffrey Kazinda, in connection with fraud-related allegations against him. Kazinda was earlier reported to have gone missing, prompting police to search his lavish property. However, Kazinda later handed himself in to the police. Julia Senkandwa brings us all the drama of the day.
A few minutes to 7 p.m., Godfrey Kazinda was whisked away by police vehicles which had spent close to 4 hours at his property in Bukoto, a Kampala suburb. He is the principal accounting officer at the Prime Minister's office, who earlier in the week was reported to have gone missing under unclear circumstances. His arrest followed a failed attempt by police to arrest him, having invaded his house early today, but by using his window he managed to make off. It is said that he later presented himself at the criminal detection headquarters in Chibuli. Kazinda is accused of a string of fraud-related offences at his workplace. It was a result of a day-long siege at his 3-star hotel-like palace in UCB zone along the Bukoto-Chebando stretch by detectives comprising of plainclothes officers, fire brigade team among others, that yielded results. Detectives managed to recover vital documents that included pre-signed funds transfer letters, blank cash withdrawal voucher booklets, fully signed by the Permanent Secretary Pius Bigirimana. Also recovered was a blank cash withdrawal voucher booklet, again with the Bigirimana's signature, with the detectives fearing that it could be forgery. The search at his house was witnessed by CID boss, among other crime intelligence officers. The other recovered documents included a logbook of a Toyota Land Cruiser in the names of Robinson Apollo Nsibambi, the former Prime Minister, original voucher forms amounting to over 30 billion shillings, reportedly paid to various service providers and some companies. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Now, 3 suspected thugs have been arrested by police after allegedly robbing a Chinese factory called Zuri International Limited in Munyonyo. The thugs, who briefly exchanged fire with the police as they tried to foil the robbery, are said to have connived with the security guard at the factory. The guard, who failed to show for work on the eve of the robbery, is said to be on the run. Police tonight say they have recovered some money and 2 weapons believed to have been used by the suspects.
The suspects are in custody at Kabalagala police station as investigations go on. However, according to police, the security companies involved must be investigated in relation to the escalating thuggery which involves them. The Southern Regional Police Commander for Kampala Metropolitan Police, Jacob Opolot, says that some security guards have now become a menace and serious action has to be taken against them.
We want the people to enjoy total peace, total security. This business of eroding people their wealth through thuggery must stop. Must stop.
The thugs are said to have made off with over 8 million shillings, thousands of dollars, and an unspecified amount of Chinese money before beating up some of the co-workers.
Like this. Okay. Another sleeve put the lock tie like this. Okay. Hey. You are only 2 people who are tied. 3 people, 4 people, all are tied. 4 people were tied. Yeah.
Wewem Zong, the manager of Zuri International, says that he was asleep while the robbery was going on, but responded to his colleagues' outcries by calling the police.
After me call the police say, here, after me call the police, open the gun. Open the gun, many gun, many. Yeah, after the Shifu, one go to this way.
However, the wounded workers have already resumed work despite the injuries. 2 guns and some money have been recovered, and the suspects will be taken to court on robbery charges.
Well, that story brings us to our segment of engagement where we are asking you in our NTV Weekend poll tonight what can be done to reduce the rising number of cases involving the misuse of guns by private security guards. I repeat, what can be done to reduce the rising number of cases involving the misuse of guns by private security guards? To have your say, text 8778 followed by your name and where you are texting from. We shall be reading some of your comments during tonight's newscast. Well, next tonight, the body of a student at Makerere University Business School who has so far only been identified as Doreen has been discovered at a property in Chinawataka. According to neighbors, the couple had a highly volatile relationship and were always fighting. They allege that the couple were involved in a fierce row moments before Doreen's death. It is claimed her boyfriend may have strangled the victim to death during the disagreement. Craig Kadoda reports.
This portrait clearly shows a happy young couple posing for a picture. But according to neighbors, behind the happy portrayal was a highly volatile relationship. They say, on many occasions, they have witnessed the couple engaged to fierce arguments. It is believed the couple were engaged in a fight just moments before the victim, only identified as Doreen, was discovered dead at the small room she rented with her boyfriend.
Tawo omwana abadde agezako nga balwana omwana agezako okufuluma ira namuzayo mu nyumba ira bwe yamuzayo mu nyumba ne bagalawo kati ne batandika okulwanira omwo.
Sister we yakomyewo saawa nnyezi ekiro n'akookona nga tewali aggulawo n'akuba ku simu ye ng'ekaabira omwo mu nju nga tewali agikwata ng'alina spare key n'agulawo n'ayingira mu nju. We yayingidde mu nju n'agezaako omushekinga ng'atayogera ate nga takyuka n'afuluma ng'akuba alamu n'akaaba n'agamba mujje mu nnyambe. Sister wange afudde muyita taddamu n'enfuluma n'etaala ne tumuwerekera omwo mu nju ne bba wange ogenda omutuukako ng'omuntu yafudde dda.
The landlord was then called before police came in and took away the body as post-mortem examinations are expected to be carried out to confirm the cause of the death. The boyfriend, who has been identified only as Hillary, has since been arrested.
We think that the Chinawataka incident is a case of murder out of a relationship which went sour. Expect that the boyfriend could have murdered his girlfriend out of a misunderstanding which they had in the house.
Further police investigations are tonight continuing to establish the circumstances that led to the death of the victim. Craig Kadoda, NTV Weekend Edition.
Government has defended activities of oil exploration in ecologically sensitive areas, despite persistent claims by environmental activists that it endangers wildlife and other endangered species. Uganda Wildlife Authority, journalists and the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, visited oil exploration areas in Markinson Falls National Park, where animals do coexist with the oil exploration exercise. NTV's Francis Chingo traveled with the team and brings us more about their findings.
From Masin town, we set off early to tour the ecologically sensitive Markinson Falls National Park, the largest in the country. It's a 3,000 square kilometer of land, and oil exploration is active here in the center of the park. But as we enter the park, we are joined by a game warder who told stories of animal behavior to the amusement of journalists.
I saw a lion doing jiggy-jiggy. Jiggy-jiggy is mating. Mating. Just a female and a male. And the lady started making noise.
I later came to learn that his wide experience being closer to wild animals, this is how he entertains tourists who come to the park.
After the incident, then a female just lay on the bed and happy, you know.
The park has a variety of wildlife, of which environmental activists believe may become extinct if activists of oil exploration continue uncontrolled. At Jobe 3 exploration site, activities are underway alongside animals graze at the site.
Standing and resting very close to the oil well. This testifies to the opposite, that actually animals can coexist with the oil activities.
Scientists believe that such activities are sensitive to elephants because of the vibrations caused by the drilling. But a few kilometers away from the exploration site, by the new entrant to tar, elephants are grazing uninterrupted.
They range very widely, up to 10 kilometers. But what we have noticed with elephants, one of their characteristics is that they like moving very early in the morning, and they get to the water places, and they like to drink water, relax near water places.
Tourists are flocking to see Uganda's beauty, the Pearl of Africa. But their immediate concern is the way environment is being polluted in Kampala.
Uganda is a beautiful place and the people are especially nice. We've been visiting schools. Well, I hope the oil activities really produce an income for Uganda. You deserve it. I'm very disappointed in the pollution, especially in Kampala. I'm very disappointed in that. I feel that what is polluted in Uganda is polluted all over the world because we all share the same sky and air.
The tourism sector in Uganda fetched in $800 million last year, making it one of the biggest foreign exchange earning for the country. At Jobe 1, this is the first oil discovery, and geologists say has the highest oil quantities, amounting to about 500 barrels.
The operator then, who was Heritage, described it as the largest discovery south of the Sahara onshore in recent years.
The first one is to remove all wastes, all drill waste, that is cuttings and wastewater, to take them outside the protected areas.
We felt we should have solar designs which cannot easily be detected by the tourists who are coming to view wildlife.
So in terms of environment management, this is the level of consideration, and as really witnesses, this is to illustrate the effort that has been made so far. No fears, no need to worry.
It's undisputed that oil cuttings from oil exploration is toxic not only to human, but to wildlife as well. But government says all the waste has to be isolated from the protected areas. Jingo Francis, NTV.
Now on the international scene, the U.S. has cut military aid to Rwanda following accusations it is backing rebels in neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. The U.S. State Department says the funding of $200,000 will be reallocated to other countries. Rwanda has rejected reports by the UN and other rights groups that it is supporting the rebels, including the M23 movement in eastern DR Congo. The Congolese rebels who took up arms in April named themselves M23 after a failed peace agreement signed with DR Congo's government on 23rd March 3 years ago. Many of them are ethnic Tutsi, like the majority of Rwanda's leadership. As a result of the fighting, 200,000 people have fled their homes. Eastern DR Congo has been plagued by fighting since 1994, when more than 1 million ethnic Hutus crossed the border into DR Congo following the Rwandan genocide, in which some 800,000 people, mostly Tutsis, died. Rwanda has twice invaded its much larger neighbor, saying it was trying to take action against Hutu rebels based in the DR Congo. Uganda also sent troops into DR Congo during the 1997-2003 conflict. Well, it's time for a short break, but let's take a look at what's ahead on NTV Weekend Edition. In this week's Health Focus, we explore the fight against sickle cell disease in Uganda. And in our political feature, we hear the debates on both sides over the controversial plans to create new districts. NTV Weekend Edition continues after this short break. Stay with us.
This is NTV.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks. The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions: Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park, Mahinga Gorilla National Park in Uganda, Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, and Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The gorilla is the largest of all living primates and has a robust build with long muscular arms, a massive chest, and broad hands and feet. It has longer and darker hair than other species, allowing it to live and travel at high altitudes where temperatures drop to below 0 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. A reminder that on tonight's NTV Weekend poll, we are asking, what can be done to reduce the rising number of cases involving the misuse of guns by private security guards? I repeat, what can be done to reduce the rising number of cases involving the misuse of guns by private security guards? To have your say, text 8778 followed by your name and where you are texting from. Let's take a look at some of your responses so far. And we start with Kansime Greens in Yabshozi, who says the government must put tough measures on security firms on recruitment of security personnel and set reasonable salaries and other conditions at places of work. Our next response comes in from Adam here in Kampala, who says security companies must check on their armed guards every 30 minutes without fail and confirm they have the guns. David says let the security men be given better pay and then the robberies will stop. 150,000 shillings is not enough. Our last response comes in from Andrew Kaweka, who says let the police take over security even for private companies instead of tear gassing people. They are many and underutilized. Well, thank you so much for those responses. Stay tuned. We shall be bringing you more comments towards the end of tonight's newscast. Moving on to our health focus feature for this week. Over 4 decades ago, Uganda led the research into sickle cell disease, which established that each year 30,000 babies are born with sickle cell disease, and of these only 5,000 live to see their 5th birthday. As the Ministry of Health embarks on an exercise to screen newborns to establish the gravity of the problem, it is now feared that the numbers may have more than doubled. Deaths have been blamed on the fact that most people lack awareness and information on the disease. In fact, severe pain is what keeps most of the patients in hospitals. In Health Focus this week, we meet 11-year-old Disan Majwega as he explains how he has learned to cope with the excruciating pain.
Four months after birth, most sickle cell disease babies start exhibiting symptoms like pain in joints, fatigue, paleness, yellowing of the eyes, amongst others. For Disan Majwega, the symptoms were read off as other diseases. Doreen and her husband did not know they were carriers of the sickle cell gene until their son was diagnosed at 9 years of age.
There is nobody I have ever had that he has got a sickle.
The lady who told me that I take the boy to the what? Sickle cell testing. She gets looked at the eyes.
Disan is now 11 years old and in primary 7. The chances of his parents having a sickle cell disease child were 1 in 4 at each pregnancy. Of the 3 children they produced, he is the only one with the disease. According to medics, it is purely an inherited disease. Survival time for the red blood cells in sickle cell diseased patients is 10 to 12 days as compared to the normal, which survives 120 days in the body.
As that sickled cell is moving in the veins, one of them comes and blocks the way, and then others also come and make a clog. They damage the tissues around that area. When blood pushes to pass, it can't pass well. And so that is what causes most problems.
Disan is as normal as other children, but his life is monitored more. He loves to play, but the games should not be very rigorous. He has, however, found passion in comedy.
Physically, they are weak people because their bodies are working 10 times faster.
This can cause them to be exhausted, which is one thing which causes painful episodes or crises.
Today I can say that I'm feeling pain here, tomorrow here.
It spreads faster to the rest of the body. But if you rest, you can arrest this pain when it's just in one area.
In children, malaria is cited as one reason why they get pain, and so parents are advised to rush them to a qualified health facility whenever they occur.
When somebody is dehydrated, still this pain can go on. If it's a child, when I talk of a child, I'm talking about 12 years and below. It should be taking 3 liters of fluids a day. For adults, 5 liters of fluids.
The painful crisis, sometimes from infections, can last from hours to days.
They told us with that pain, you just get in warm water and you press where the pain is.
Sometimes while in class, Disan gets this pain, so what he does is sends children from lower classes to go get the matron who brings him his medicine.
If it catches me in this, and this, just in the chest, then I can't go to class.
But the pain has not taken away his ability to excel in academics. People with sickle cell disease need to learn to stay healthy, and this often requires knowing their blood levels.
When it is too high, those cells break and they make clots. The clot could go and land on the brain where someone can get a stroke. When it is below 4, this one can cause death. That is what causes what we call anemia. The heart is trying to pump, but almost it's pumping air.
In the past, sickle cell disease patients died between 20 and 40 years, but over time, with better research into proper management and treatment, they can live beyond 50 years. Amongst the challenges is having too much information, which never gets disseminated to the grassroots because of limited funding.
Some of them don't even know what it is. Others think it's witchcraft. Others think it's a curse.
There is only one clinic in the whole country at Mulago Hospital, yet sticklers stream in from all over the country. And it closes at midday. No wonder this woman's arrival at 3 p.m. yielded no luck with finding a health worker. With her 9-year-old child in excruciating pain, her only option was to carry her on the back to the pediatrics acute care section.
The mothers all the sickness, the government to help us so that we put a 24 hours clinic.
Mulago Hospital has registered over 8,000 sicklers. Weekly, the sickle cell clinic handles an average of between 250 and 300 patients, with 7 new cases each day. Pain is the worst enemy to any sickler, and is why most of them often visit the hospitals. Florence Naliba, NTV.
Now, the head of a baby understood to be approximately 6 months old has been discovered earlier today in Pida Village, Mityana district. Other body parts were not seen, which has made the residents suspect that the child could have been sacrificed. Police are, however, carrying out investigations with the help of some residents to find the person who could have lost the child. By the roadside in Pida Village, reduced to simply a bundle, stashed in this polythene bag, commonly known as kavera, is a head of a human being. Residents rushed to this maize garden to witness if any more body parts could be found, but all there is a hole, indicating a poorly done job of trying to bury the head of a baby believed to be not more than 6 months old.
We have tried to trace around the maize plantation where people believe it came from. We haven't got any other body part.
Local residents made the grim discovery after finding dogs trying to eat the head. Some of the residents suspect that one of their own could have carried out this rush burial after possibly an abrupt death of a child. Others, however, think it is a case of child sacrifice since the body was dissected. The little child's head, whose gender has not yet been identified, has been taken to Mityana Main Hospital mortuary as investigations continue. Now, last week, government announced the creation of 23 more districts, bringing the total number of districts to 136. The districts will be operationalized starting this month, with the last ones coming into effect in 2015. In this week's political feature, we hear from analysts and MPs alike as reactions are mixed over the new districts. Is it a waste of vital funds or a helping hand for service delivery? Maurice Achol seeks the answers.
It was early this week that government announced that 23 more districts will start operation, with the process beginning this month. This has been met with mixed reactions from the public and a number of legislators. With this decision, political analysts view that this move is made in line with the policy of decentralization, which allows services to be brought closer to the people.
They are telling us that it's going to bring services to the people, near to the people, at the district level, where local people can also access facilities.
In 1986, there were only 33 districts, but now the number has increased to 136. But what then could have been government's motive in such an increase in the number of districts?
In the next elections, they are going to use the same district system to make what we call gerrymandering, to win over there. They can have access direct to the people now, because at every district they have an agent, so they can easily mobilize people for elections of 2012.
However, against a backdrop to this policy of creating more districts, a number of legislators believe this to be a sort of political reward.
If it means rewarding campaigning managers of the past elections, we have other ways they can reward them.
Some people are being politically awarded by giving new districts. The key positions which should have been decentralized, like the position of the chief administrative officer, town clerk, all those key GEC positions are even centralized and not decentralized.
These smaller districts is going to be a venue for the movement to penetrate and create their so-called cadres and people who adore to them, who will not want something called a change take place in this country. This is why they are clamoring.
Already, research has been conducted which suggests that most of the new districts that have been created over time haven't received the intended services.
Our system does not create jobs, yet that's a challenge for every government anywhere you go. The priority must be create jobs. Now for us, we're creating districts. That's where the controversy comes in.
If you look at the already newly created districts which are existing, like for instance my district of Kole, there are so many things which are not in place. For instance, you find the health center built but no health facilities in it and no health workers. Now what kind of services are we bringing closer to people?
We know some of the districts which are under the trees really. Why do we need more districts?
Meanwhile, there is already a debate as to why it's only Uganda with this kind of trend.
As if we're trying to bring a blockade over the East African Federation. Yeah. What's going on in Kenya and Tanzania different from what we're doing here? Yeah. We're making these things small and small and small, yet we're advocating for something big. Now, is it a sabotage on the federation or what? This is where the problem comes in. I think even with the education system, we may fail even to draw a map of Uganda in the near future. We may fail.
Some political scholars also argue that this could be a sign of the divide and rule system at work.
The movement system has many things they have not achieved, very many things. Yeah. And they are trying to use diversionary method. They want people to get occupied in district issues, yet there are vital issues they are supposed to present to the people. For example, this issue of poor payments, teachers are quarreling, nobody is doing about it. They want to divert us from that. Yeah. Services are not there. Yeah. There are no drugs in the hospitals. Schools are doing badly. Yeah. So now we're talking about smaller things like districts. Yeah. We don't have any railway line.
Other critics propose that this could be one way in which the NRM party is preparing for the 2016 general elections.
Big nations of the world are bigger. USA is very big. They are now going to divide it into smaller parts. China is big. They are not divided into smaller parts. And they're having massive economies.
These countries are still in provinces. They are still talking of provinces. Now for us, we are breaking, even LC1s are now also asking for districts. Yeah. A town council asks for a district.
During the State of the Nation address, President Yoweri Museveni warned against the creation of any more districts as they are just units of consumption rather than production. But that remains to be seen.
I would advocate for emerging of these districts. We cut the labor force because our problem is we don't have the money to pay. Yeah. Release the districts, let the government fall back to its roles. Not of creating districts, but come and do supervisionary role. That's their job.
Yeah. Maurice Ochol, NTV.
Thank you, Maurice. Now to expound on this issue, I'm delighted to be joined here in the studio tonight by Stephen Ochola, FDC Member of Parliament for Serem. A warm welcome to NTV Weekend Edition.
Thank you very much.
Now there has been a thought, as we heard from the story, that in the future we might even fail to draw the map of Uganda at a point. What are your thoughts? Why the need for new districts? Why the rush?
In fact, we are not going to fail in the future, near future, but we have already failed. Our children now cannot draw the map of Uganda and locate the districts.
So why do you think there is a rush for
now? The rush for these districts is purely almost political, because most of these districts which were brought to Parliament the other day were districts which were promised during the campaign period. Now the people whom the president, when he was campaigning, promised to give the districts are asking for the pledge and the promise they were given. And that's why you had in the western part of the country, people were demonstrating. Now, those are the threats which made the president, to bend low to say, let us have these districts in place.
So we
and then when he was talking of few districts, others were saying, what of these ones? You see?
So we're tagging it to politics.
Yeah.
The rationale behind the creation of new districts has always been for better service delivery. Do we have anything that shows tangible proof that that has actually ever worked anywhere?
It used to be, that was the purely why we wanted a district or why we created a district. It was about service delivery, bringing near to the people. But after some time, it lost the meaning. As we speak today, that is not the primary objective of creation of districts, because then most of the districts which have been created have failed. So you find that in a district, you don't have good roads in these new districts. There are no drugs in the health centers. There are no, even the civil servants alone, they are not there. Most of the districts cannot recruit and retain, for example, the doctors and then the district engineers. You find in most positions they are acting. People are acting who are not supposed to be in those positions. So which bring services nearer the people are we talking about.
Well, the new districts are going to happen. Can we benefit anything from them?
I bet you, my sister, there is nothing Ugandans are going to benefit from these districts, apart from creating them and creating more problems, like you want to give the RDCs, you want to talk about the DSO, it's purely for those few individuals, what we could call the movement cadres. But otherwise, there is nothing the common person on the ground is benefiting. In the village there, nobody is going to benefit out of these districts. Some
analysts have argued that we should just have all of Uganda's 229 counties made districts.
That's even what I also prefer. We would rather just have all the counties pronounced as districts and we approve them as parliament, so that we stop this gimmick of every time coming back to parliament and then we say let's create this district, or the president has given you the district, because it's now being used for political gains. So it's better we do away with it once and for all, and then we plan. If the government is wise, we would now have all the counties pronounced as districts. Then we now come back to the drawing board and then plan for this district, because we need funding for these districts. We don't need the district but need funding. Today, these districts, local governments are getting only less than 18% of the national budget. And yet, these local governments are the ones which are giving over 70% of the service delivery to the people. Talk about the drugs in the health units, talk about the roads, talk about education. All those services are given by the local government. But what they are getting in the national budget is very meager. And yet government, the central government, which is giving about 30% of the service delivery to the people of this country, is taking over 70% of the national budget.
Well, Honorable, what are your thoughts? Should these funds be channeled to higher priority areas?
Exactly. For example, instead of you creating these districts and you have an RDC and the deputy getting 2 million shillings, why don't you give that 2 million shillings to a doctor? Because in most of these districts, when you go to a health center 4, which is almost, because now our districts are counties, so in each county we're expected to be having a health center 4. And this health center 4 is supposed to be having a minimum of 2 doctors. But now we cannot even have those doctors. In most of these districts, there are no doctors. Why don't we get the 2 million and give it to the doctors, so that we have doctors who will give quality service delivery to our people?
Or we could even give it to the teachers.
Or to the teachers.
Well, Honorable, as a last question, can Parliament accommodate the new MPs that are going to come with the new districts? Do we have that space?
The space is not there, but just because there are very rare occasions where Parliament is full, especially when there is voting. That's when you'll find everybody almost is in Parliament. But otherwise, we would not be having space. There is no space. But because in most times we don't realize full house attendance, that's why maybe we have some space. But if you look at the other side of the NRM, the ruling side, you find if we are all there during the voting day, you find the place is full and honorable members sit in the corridor. So there is no space, and I really pity why we are creating these districts, and tomorrow they will come with the new constituencies, not counties but constituencies. You find a county with the east, north, west, central, all those.
Well, Honorable, thank you for your thoughts for today. We'll wait and see what tomorrow has to offer. I have been speaking to Stephen Ochola, the FTC Member of Parliament for Sere, as we discuss plans unveiled this week to create a further 23 new districts. Let's move on to this week's Personal Finance Digest, and effective from July 1st, the government announced that mobile phone users will pay a little more tax in uniformly tabling a proposal for parliamentary approval. The amount that will arise in tax in real terms will be excise duty. In Personal Finance this week, we try to break down what this means for all phone users.
Should you note a slight increase in your cost per minute on your mobile airtime, take note. It could be a result of the fact that you might have to pay a little more tax due to a new computation by government of tax levied on airtime.
There was some element of lack of clarity at the base on which it should be collected. And that is the clarification the minister is seeking.
The finance minister is asking Parliament to approve a new measure. If you're puzzled of what this is all about, let's illustrate. Bear in mind though that on every minute of call time there is a tax of 18% VAT and 12% excise.
Excise duty and VAT are paid by the final consumer. If you bought something at 10 shillings, the person selling it to you must compute the VAT of the excise duty. There are two ways. The first one is to say, I'll levy VAT at 18%, which means what you're buying it at has moved from 10 shillings to 11.8. The second question is, I also need to levy excise duty. Do I levy it on the 10 or on the 11.8?
Now here's the crux. The 12% excise duty will be levied on the sum of the cost per minute plus 18%. If it is 100 shillings per minute, for example, the excise shall be levied on the 100 shillings plus 18%, which will be 118 shillings. This mathematical move could result in a slightly higher cost for callers, which the URA says it is not substantial, but cumulatively makes them a lot of money. Samuel Setumba, NTV.
And that was personal finance for this weekend. Let's take another short break. I'll be back with the latest in sport.
This time you got double, as in double word airtime. Get double word airtime.
This is NTV.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. Kizito Baba, now in Vietnam, will boost Uganda's national under-20 side, the Hippos, in the Africa Youth Qualifiers against Ghana this Saturday. The Hippos had their training at Kavumba Recreational Ground, and the captain is confident his team's strength in the midfield will see Uganda advancing past the former World Cup winners.
With about 5 days left to Uganda hosting Ghana's under-20 side in Kampala, the Hippos technical bench officials have called on Vietnam-based Kizito Baba to reinforce the team ahead of Saturday's game at Nachivubo. Kizito, to play as a midfielder, will be a force as the Hippos hope to register a convincing win in Kampala before heading to Accra in a fortnight for the second leg. 23 players were part of the training session this morning and are in high spirit to make a statement against the former continental and world youth champions, the Black Satellites of Ghana.
The team is fine, the players are fine, we are training well, no one is sick. I think on Saturday we shall come at Nachivubo to show Ghanaians that we can play football. We have the best players in a midfield, so I think they are going to possess the ball where they will supply the ball so that we can get the goals.
Uganda Hippos are to have several build-up games against Super League clubs including Water and Edgar's youth side. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
Thank you, Alfred. Now, today has been a rest day for the team still in the ongoing Sekafa Kagame Cup in Tanzania. However, the games resume tomorrow at the quarter-final stage, with Uganda's URA FC taking on former champions APR of Rwanda in the first game. Later at 4 p.m., defending champions Young will face off with Mafunzo of Zanzibar. Sam Poza previews those matches from Dar es Salaam.
Uganda Revenue Authority returns into action tomorrow in the quarter-final of this year's Sekafa Kagame Cup. URA topped Group A of the competition after beating all their opponents in the group, including Tanzania's Simba, Congo's Vita and Djibouti's Sports FC. This unexpected performance by the tax collectors has prompted Sekafa long-serving secretary Nicholas Musonyi to believe the Ugandan representatives are the team to beat in this competition.
I am thinking URA is a good team so far. I think they are organized, they are ready, and they are prepared for this competition.
URA will be playing against former champions APR of Rwanda.
Knockout stage tomorrow, if the matches are not settled on time, is penalties straight.
Sam Poza, NTV Sport.
Kampala City Council Authority retained the Ladies Kampala Amateur Volleyball Club Memorial title with a straight sets victory over the organizers KVC at Lugogo Indoor Stadium. Kumi Volleyball Club, though, apportioned the blame to inadequate facilitation for their poor show in the two-day competition, as Alfred Odong reports.
Kampala City Council Authority had an easy ride in retaining the Kampala Amateur Volleyball Club ladies title as they beat KAVC in the best-of-5 final played at Lugogo Indoor Stadium. The final, a revival of the domestic league rivalry, had KCCA winning all the 3 sets for an embarrassing 3-0 win in the field arena. For the champions, the victory is memorable and a sign they have an upper hand in winning the National League title this season.
Fantastic and just more than pleased and happy. It has been a long waited day, but it has finally come to pass and that we've beaten them 3-0. It makes it more fantastic and lovely. I'm just so happy.
In the men's game, Kumi lost to Kampala Amateur and Kigali Volleyball Men's Club in straight sets and could not advance past the group stage of the two-day competition. They, however, believe they're a good side and with good facilitation they could bounce and win the competition next season.
Let's say leisure activity, a leisure sport, because they have to look for sources of earning a living. Okay, so all the poor performance of Kumi Volleyball Club are attributed to first let me say lack of the coach itself. Okay, we players are from different areas, so we don't, let's say we don't have time to train together, okay, and cut.
In the men's final, KVC are now playing Sporters with the hope of retaining the title. Alfred Odong, NTV Sport.
And finally, in NTV Weekend Sport tonight, Victory Rovers have claimed the first game of the Uganda National Baseball League playoff against reigning champions Chambogo Buffaloes by 3 runs. The game played in Chambogo had the reigning champions, the Buffaloes, asserting themselves in the game in the early innings, but the visitors proved more determined as they came from down to level at 4 each. Victory Rovers got a double play that saw them ejecting 2 of the Buffaloes to claim the day, and game won by 17 against 14. The defending champions were left counting on their mistakes and now plan a heavy return in Game 2 to be played next Saturday.
We lost our unbeaten run to the Rovers this weekend, and we hope to improve on our batting and fielding workouts so that when we come back next weekend, we can play a decisive game with them.
Well, that's all the sports news we had for you today. Thank you for watching. Stay with us. I'll be back with your responses to our weekend poll.
This is NTV.
Welcome back. Let's take you back to tonight's NTV Weekend poll. And earlier on, we asked you what can be done to reduce the rising number of cases involving the misuse of guns by private security guards. Thank you so much for all of your responses. A quick look at some more. We start with Moses Mulindwa, who says the government has to come up with regulations on the rampant creation of private security companies. Only a few competent ones should be allowed to function, and the few that function should also be strictly monitored. Stefan Mazima says they don't get enough training on how to use guns. I suggest they should be recruited and trained by the police force, and then the private security firms hire them from the police. Dixon Asaba says all guns should be registered and police should make good research about those security groups. And finally, Nelan Kurong says private security companies should recruit people with discipline. They should get records from the local leaders to the district level. This is because these security private companies employ all kinds of people because they are also just after the money. Thank you so much for all of your responses, and your responses bring us to the end of tonight's newscast. Thank you for watching. NTV Tonight will resume tomorrow, but from all of us here, the weekend team, it's good night and have a great week.